One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
What's up, everybody, for the second live video of the day. Getting ready to cover the Trump rally out in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Now, understand, either he just got bumped or I screwed up the timing. So he's not going to take the stage, excuse me, until 8 p.m. our time. 8 p.m. is when he's going to take the stage. Luckily, I have some stuff I can show you and we could talk about. So I don't know how many of you guys actually have looked at Bitcoin recently, but it's so funny. Trump went ahead and did a Bitcoin conference earlier today, and this is what happened. The odds of Trump announcing a federal Bitcoin reserve just shot up to 92%. We are so back. Boom, Poly Market, it went way up. It seems that Trump is going to get behind Bitcoin. So I don't know if you guys have even looked into that, but I want to play a video. It's only a couple minutes of Trump talking today in Nashville at the Bitcoin convention.
Afternoon, I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done. If crypto is going to define the future, I want to be mined, minted, and made in the USA. It's going to be. It's not going to be made anywhere else. And if Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say, it's going to the moon, I want America to be the nation that leads the way. And that's what's going to happen. No, you're going to be very happy with me. You're going to be so happy. You're going to say he's the greatest guy. That's why I'm proud to be the first major party nominee in American history to accept donations in Bitcoin and crypto. And they've made a lot of them, I might tell you, and I appreciate it. Since we made that announcement on May 21st, We have already raised $25 million, much of it in Bitcoin, crypto, and others that are very, very good also. But as you know, our excitement about the future of Bitcoin and crypto could not be more difficult from the approach of our opponents. Can't be, look, our opponents have gone a difficult route. They're going old-fashioned stuff. We're going to take it right down the middle. We are so different from anybody else in terms of a campaign. First of all, we understand it. They don't understand it. They are blocking your path. They're blocking your way. But I've made it a lot easier for you because the SEC has been very, very tough on you. And now they see that you've embraced me. All of a sudden, people that were under investigation, they're being let go. They're saying, oh, no, we don't want to do that. We love crypto. Let me tell you, if they win this election, every one of you will be gone. They will be vicious. They will be ruthless. They will do things that you wouldn't believe. But right now, because of me, they're leaving you alone. So please say thank you, President Trump. Thank you very much. And the reason they're doing that is I've heard from some of your great geniuses that talk to me about this subject. I've heard from Vivek. 175 million people in some form are involved with this world of crypto and Bitcoin and all of the others, 175 million. So when they heard that, they said, let's be nice to them, at least until after the election. The moment I'm sworn in, the persecution stops and the weaponization ends against your industry. And as long as I'm in the Oval Office, Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, do you remember? Yes, I'm an Indian. Yes, she said, I'm an Indian. Why are you an Indian? You don't look like an Indian. No, my mother told me I have high cheekbones. Oh, that's why she was an Indian. So I named her Pocahontas. Elizabeth Warren and her goons, and she's very nasty to you. She hates your people. She hates everything about you. Will keep their hands off Bitcoin. They're going to keep their hands off crypto. They're going to let it grow. We're going to let it grow. On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler and appoint a new SEC chairman. I didn't know he was that unpopular. Well, I didn't know he was that unpopular. Let me say it again. On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler. Whoa. And we'll appoint a new SEC chairman who believes America should build the future, not block the future, which is what they're doing.
Can you believe that? Now, I realize some of you guys are my age or so. Maybe some of you are actually older. What he is doing and every move he seems to be making is putting him further and further ahead of Kamala Harris or whoever is going to be the Democrat nominee. Because I'm not really sure she's still going to be the Democrat nominee. All they can do at this point is react. He's out there forging different avenues. He's expanding the tent of the Republican Party. It's no longer the Republican Party, it's the MAGA Party. Let's just call it what it is. He just happens to be running under the Republican banner. This is his party he's creating. He is enlarging this tent bigger and bigger and bigger. Most of the people involved in Bitcoin are younger people. These are people who do Bitcoin mining and understand how to use transactional Bitcoin. You know, one Bitcoin, I think at this point might be $50,000 or $60,000 for one Bitcoin. But just like with gold, which I've been telling you about, you don't have to buy the entire Bitcoin. You can buy Bitcoin with as little as like $20, $25. You get a percentage of a Bitcoin. And yes, you can use Bitcoin just like a dollar. I personally have used it. I'm speaking from experience. I have a graphic designer, I guess I can call him. Once in a while, I'll use him to help me out with some artwork. Guy lives in Brussels. Hey, I can do your work for you. I can do this. I can do that. And how am I going to pay you in Brussels? You take credit cards? No, I don't take credit cards. What do? I take Bitcoin. All right, so what do I need to do to pay you? Go here, click on here, open a wallet, and then buy Bitcoin. And then transfer it to me. And if I showed you how it works, you would be blown away. This is not a sponsorship. This is Trump talking about this. This is something that he has now gotten behind and said, this is what we're going to do. Which, I got to tell you, drives the Democrats bat poop crazy. Because this is money they can't get their hands on. When I go to pay my graphic designer, it may only be 30 or 40 bucks, but all he sends me is a key. And it's like a 20-digit key, X14725, capital A, B, lowercase l, underscore 129. It is a long key that goes to his wallet. It's instantaneous. It's anonymous for the most part. And the U.S. government can't get their hands on it. And so Vivek Ramaswamy, who is, basically been one of Trump's advisors, you can say at this point, who I'm sure is going to have a spot in the administration, is showing him how, number one, lucrative this is. And number two, hey, if you embrace this, you're going to reach an entire different audience that the Democrats have no idea how to reach. And the reason why they have no idea how to reach is because they haven't figured out a way to get their filthy hands on it. That's why they want to create government-based Bitcoin, the CBDC, central bank digital currency, which nobody wants. Nobody wants the government deciding how you're going to spend your money. That's not what Bitcoin is all about. I, having sold real estate, you can actually use Bitcoin to buy a house. Yes, there are clearinghouses where you can use your Bitcoin to buy real estate. It is the wave of the future. Actually, it's the wave of the present. I literally kick myself all the time because I had the opportunity to buy Bitcoin when it was like dirt cheap. Like 100, 200, 500 bucks for Bitcoin. And I know some people who are sitting fat and pretty right now because they've got tens of millions of dollars in Bitcoin. And people used to say, well, I can't go to the grocery store and buy Bitcoin. Well, if you notice, there are more and more establishments that are opening up to the idea of Bitcoin. Here's another, and let's play this one.
Upon taking office, I will immediately appoint a Bitcoin and Crypto Presidential Advisory Council. Would anybody like to be on that particular council? Please raise your hand. Their task will be to design transparent regulatory guidance for the benefit of the entire industry, and they will get it done in 100 days. We will have regulations, but from now on, the rules will be written by people who love your industry, not hate your industry, people that want to make it clear and simple, straightforward and fair, people that want to see your industry thrive, not dive. Next, I will immediately order the Treasury Department and other federal agencies to cease and desist all steps necessary because, there's a thing going on in your industry. They want to move the creation of a central bank digital currency. It's over. Forget it.
That is absolutely huge. He just told this crowd, not going to do it. Under his administration, he is not going to basically go any further with CBDC, which is incredibly awesome. There's a question before I get back here. Question from Anthony who says, let me ask you a question. Can it collapse on us? All right. So Bitcoin, unlike United States dollar or any of the other gold and some of these things, is it has risks, of course. And like anything else, it's a diversification tool. I wouldn't move all my money into it. Would never do that. Would move all my money into anything. But I would take a certain percentage and understand it can go up if you're playing, basically trying to make money with it, or if you're just going to use it as a different style of currency. Understand, people don't realize it, but your dollar power goes up and down. So your Bitcoin power goes up and down. Let me see what the price of, let me see if I can show you a chart of Bitcoin today. Bitcoin pricing. And I can show you the volatility in it. So this is going to be a good volatile chart. I mean, a chart that shows you the volatility. Look at that. So one Bitcoin, at this point, costs $68,687. This is the 1 day chart. Let me go to the 1 month chart. That's the chart you want to look at, not your intraday chart. Your intraday chart is for people who are trading and doing stuff today. What you want to look at is, where's the trend line? There's 5 days, there's 1 month, there's 6 months. So you can see the trend line over 6 months is pretty much stable. It's about, you've got some peaks and valleys here, but it's pretty much at the same thing. Over the last month, it skyrocketed. So if you're looking to invest into Bitcoin as a appreciation model, then you will see people say hold. In fact, there's, I think it's Carvana or CarMax has a funny commercial right now where they're like, hold, and she's talking about selling her car. Well, there's a whole bunch of people who talk on Twitter about this, and it's HODL, hold. They just spell it differently. And it's, when you should sell if you need to sell, or when you need to buy. At $68,000, almost $70,000 for a Bitcoin, you're not going to be able to buy much Bitcoin at this point. Most of us. I mean, one coin, $70,000. So if you're going to put 1,000 into it, the reason you're putting that 1,000 into it is to basically have another form of currency, central bank digital currency. I wouldn't advise, and I'm not a person who looks to Bitcoin for appreciation. I look for Bitcoin for safety, protection. It's another one of those asset things. And now, obviously, Trump understands that as well, because that's where he's headed. Let's finish off this video here and listen to this.
CBDC. There will never be a CBDC while I'm president of the United States. And I will always defend the right to self-custody. You're going to have a great industry. You're going to have a great industry, and we're going to be fuel for your industry, not demolish your industry. America will once again be a nation that protects property rights, privacy, freedom of transaction, freedom of association, and freedom of speech. We're going to we're going to go back to the old days when we were a nation that was building, not a nation that was eating itself alive from within.
Absolutely. So this comment from Larry, be careful with Bitcoin, folks. Yeah, absolutely. Be careful with Bitcoin. Be careful with stocks. Be careful with real estate. That statement basically you can put behind anything. Literally anything, especially in the volatile times that we're living in right now. Of course you got to be careful. You got to do your due diligence. You've got to read up on different things. But here's the difference. If President Trump is saying once he's elected that he's going to begin pushing this, what do you think's going to happen? So now that it's July right now, maybe perhaps, you start educating yourself. Again, I'm never going to tell you what to do, how to do it. I'm showing you something. And if the man we trust, and that's what I'll keep leaning back on, if the man we trust basically is saying, here's what I'm going to be doing, then I trust that he understands that a lot of people are going to be listening to him. And a lot of people are going to say, should I do this? Well, at this point, there is a ton of people who don't know what it is, don't know how to get involved, are scared of it, worried about it. Like Catalea says here, that statement applies to life. You got to be careful with everything. But the way to be careful is to get yourself informed. You got to do the work. You just can't say one day, hey, I'd like to buy $500 worth of Bitcoin. What do you do with it? Where is it? How do you get it? How do you access it? How do you liquidate it? You got to start doing the work. You got to start understanding what the difference is between buying Bitcoin and mining Bitcoin. There's so many different things. So the only reason I showed that is because I was stunned that he went to the Bitcoin convention today, and he went there and basically did a speech saying, we're going with it. It's coming. If I get elected, it's coming. And you heard thousands of people going, oh yeah, don't get caught behind. That's why I played that speech, is it's July. You've got time to educate yourself. Anthony Earhart said, I bought Bitcoin when it was around $25. Understand, if he bought Bitcoin when it was $25, I'll come to your house and help you find the key. Because that $25, if he bought an actual coin, when I say, a full share basically, you just saw what it was worth. That $25 is now worth $70,000. Let that sink in. I have some Bitcoin that I hold, didn't spend a lot of money on it, and I watch it go up and down and different things and see where it goes. And like I told you, if I have to buy something with it, I get it. Like he mentions the key. Everything's about the key. That's your transaction. If you want to buy something, you gotta have that key. It says there's on Monday, October 28th this year, all technology is going down. Everything. No call, no internet, no cable, nothing. And it's going to be worldwide. Okay, so if that's the case and you can't go to your bank, what do you do? Now, October 28th is obviously before the election, so there, who knows what's going to happen? The Y2K thing happened. It didn't end up happening. Let's see here. Millionaires can't get their money if that happens. Yeah. If I own gold, can I also buy Bitcoin with it? Absolutely. Absolutely. All I'm saying here, and in a nutshell, the reason I brought it up is because he brought it up. I wasn't planning on bringing up Bitcoin. Then I saw everybody that I follow on Twitter X talking about what he said today. So he said, I'm going to fire the guy who is the head of the SEC. Imagine that. Imagine sitting at home and finding out you're fired in November or January. You're fired. You're done. Do whatever you need to do right now, but you're going to be fired. So, and so that's what made me, I better play this. You guys better know what he said today. Understand, you don't have to be rich. But if Trump is going to be pushing Bitcoin, maybe you just want to educate yourself on what it is. I prefer gold. You can actually hold it in your hand. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. You know what? It's almost as if you read my mind. I might as well cut to this right now. Understand that, yes, you can hold gold right in your hands. Check this out. You know that inflation is still on the rise all across America, and our dollar is being devalued more and more every single day by the Federal Reserve and their massive money printing schemes. So you have to ask yourself, are my investments really safe? I doubt it. Listen to this. Government debt is growing at the rate of $1 trillion every 100 days. Since 2020, every dollar in your wallet has lost 24% of its purchasing power. And in just the last 18 months, what you need to survive as a family, your groceries, your necessities, have gone up by $11,000 per family. These are unsustainable and outrageous numbers. That's why I'm recommending that you call my friends at Lear Capital. They'll show you how easy it is to move some of your assets into gold and silver. You know, assets that are growing in value instead of keeping them in a dollar, which is declining in value. And as we approach the election and with all the volatility in the world, now is the time to take some action. Call Lear today at 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. When you go to Lear, you'll be able to download a de-dollarization guide. It will show you specifically how your dollar is deflating every single year. There's no obligation, it's just free information. You'll learn how to protect your hard-earned money with gold and silver. Just so you know, Lear has over 27 years of experience, thousands of 5-star reviews, $3 billion in trusted transactions, and is the only company with a 24-hour risk-free purchase guarantee. Call Lear at 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. And when you give them a call, ask how you can get $15,000 in bonus gold with a qualifying purchase. You see, there's a lot of people, and I'm not singling anybody out, but this is something Jerry just said, a guy named Jerry. This is, but value of gold in Bitcoin can also drop and you can lose money on it. So I'm going to ask you one question in regards to that. Can you lose money on cash? Think hard before you answer that question. Can you lose money on cash? So the answer to that question, most people don't realize because they're holding, you know, if they have a dollar bill, it's like I still have a dollar. I still have a dollar bill. I can't lose this. Well, the thing you lose, but most people don't realize, is what this thing can purchase. You know, 2 years ago, I might have been able to get, you know, maybe a coffee or a donut. Not now. 2 years ago, this would get me almost, 2 of these would get me a gallon of gas. Not now. So in essence, what I'm telling you is your dollars drop as well. In fact, your dollar has lost 24% of its value, of its purchasing power over the last about 18 months, 24 months. So even though you may have it, you're like, I didn't lose it. I still have my dollar, Barry. You still have your Bitcoin. It didn't go away. You still have your gold. The value and the intrinsic value of what is worth to do something with it, that may change, that may fluctuate. But you still have it. You didn't buy a bag of chips and eat it and lose that dollar. It's gone. You still have that physical item. And that's what I'm saying is don't push in like it's a poker game and you're trying to hit the lottery. No. Some people will. At this point, with everything going on in the world, it's best at this point to begin understanding what you need to do to hedge. This one may go up, this one may go down. After this, makes no sense says, so what you have is a private key to access your coins on a public ledger. If you have that, you have control of your Bitcoins. Make sure you have the private key or trust whoever has it. Exactly. It's a private key. It's a long code, basically, a line of code that says you have access to this or that. And people can use your code if you give it to them, and they can pay you in Bitcoin. It can be transferred. So that's what you want to make sure you do that. U.S. Patriot says, I bought ammo to have plenty of brass. That's my goal. Another thing with everything that's going on, yeah, buy some ammo. Definitely buy some ammo. Especially depends on where you live. I live in a gated community, so I'm a little bit more protected than most people. If you don't live in a gated community where somebody can just walk up to your door or come into your backyard, yes, make sure you've got ammo as well. Don't leave anything to chance. Just a Girl says, be careful what you say on here. Yes, I know that. I'm on YouTube. YouTube doesn't like certain things being said. Bitcoin might be one of them. We know about baby removal. We all have our restrictions on what we can talk about. It really sucks. It really sucks, but I understand what you're saying. Catalea seems to have a good knowledge on things here. Bitcoin, Litecoin, ETH, XRP, and so many more cryptocurrencies are valuable to have in your Coinbase wallet. In that one sentence, she probably said 5 or 6 things where some people watching went, what? What? I'm just understanding what a Bitcoin is, and you're talking about Litecoin, ETH, XRP, and you're talking about a Coinbase wallet. She just went to the advanced class. She's in the AP, advanced placement. She understands there's going to be different uses for different coins. Because that's another question. There's a whole lot of coins out there. I mean, even Elon Musk created one, and there's, just trust me, there's a lot. And so to get to the level to even understand what Catalea just said there, you need to do your homework. I mean, she's somebody I could probably bring on an interview, and we could probably talk for like half an hour, and I would be taking notes. Find people who know what they're talking about. And if I could sit down with Catalea, I would say, okay, talk to me about this. Okay, talk to me about that. That's the kind of person, even in the chat here, if you just, hey, Catalea, what's a Coinbase wallet? She can type it out and tell you how to find it. So there is so much to know. For people to blow it off is kind of weird, because you're not taking into account everything that is going on right now. Dogecoin, yeah, Dogecoin is Elon Musk, so he's got one too. And maybe I can pull up to show you how small I played. I decided I was gonna get in. Which one do I use? I use Coinbase. Coinbase is the one I use. Yeah, I said that out loud. But Coinbase, you can get on here and you can buy all kinds of different things. So let me see. Let me show you my whopping balance of crypto in this particular wallet. This is my whopping balance in crypto. Can you guys see that? Maybe you see it. $14.20. Because that's what I keep to pay my graphic artist. If he says he needs something, and you can see the chart, you can see where it stayed steady, you can see where it dropped down. Yeah, you can see all that right there. I'm up 6 cents today. I'm not looking to make any money. I just keep it there. So I've got, let's see here. It says I've got $5.88 in crypto and $8.31 in cash in my account. But at any time, I could move money over into that wallet. So if he said, listen, I need to bill you, you got to pay me $50, I just move it over and then send it to him. It's really simple. XRP is trash. I don't even know what that is. So that's why I said you have to get somebody like Catalea, because we could have a talk and you guys could think about it. Hackers are salivating to the idea of everyone ignorant plays the game of crypto. Yes. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid at all. I wouldn't even attempt to get into crypto unless you felt very comfortable with the language and you had a very secure login. Let's see. Kamala Harris on a campaign. Open borders, open legs. That's funny. So anyway, that's I've got 457. I'm bigger than you. Yeah, exactly. Everybody. So Apple Queen, what do you use yours for? Do you use it just to hold and just keep money in there just in case or something? I mean, how many different wallets do you have, and moving different things around? It's kind of fun, actually. When you say that, if tomorrow Bitcoin went down and that went down to $6 or whatever, you could just move money around. So what I've been doing, because I am no expert on crypto, I've been taking my time and learning. I put in like $50 to start and just started seeing what would happen. And then I met this guy in Brussels, as I said. So, can I have a loan from your crypto? $14, baby. Yeah, I'm. You know what? I could go to Subway, maybe get a sub. Yeah, absolutely. Bitcoin prevents corruption. It's one big glass house. Exactly. What else we got here? Are you going to show the J.D. Vance speech today? Yeah, I'm going to actually do another video. Not today. This is the third video of the day. So let me just check in. I just see people talking on screen, so nothing going on yet. 100 years ago, a $20 gold bill, $20 gold piece and a $20 bill could both buy a suit. Today, a $20 gold piece can still buy a suit, but a $20 bill can barely buy a necktie. Exactly. The dollars, good point here. Dollars are just paper, a promissory note from the U.S. government. Government fails, all you can do is make a paper crane out of it. Exactly. When is the rally? The rally is actually going on right now, but looking on the screen here, they just have some people talking. I'm not sure if it's because of the difference in time zone, but they're saying at this point that Trump is expected to, here's what you can see it yourself. Let me just move. Trump is expected to hit the stage at 8 p.m. So St. Cloud, Minnesota might be Central Time, which makes it why it seems late. So at 8 p.m., Trump's going to be taking the stage. So we'll get to him. And if there's any good speakers that come up before him, we'll click over and listen to them as well. But in any event, the reason why we're even talking about Bitcoin is because President Trump went to a conference today and basically said, I'm all in. And again, if we trust him and we want to vote for him, he's doing something and he's telegraphing to you, to me, this is where I'm headed. This is the direction I'm going. If you're on board the Trump train, then maybe when you get on this Trump train, you bring a book or a laptop and learn about Bitcoin. Because Vivek knows it, and you could tell when Trump was talking, he wasn't pretending. He kept on saying, your industry. This is going to help you guys. He's a billionaire who's made his money in real estate. He ain't got no time for Bitcoin. But he's going to have people in place who understand what they need to do to make the Bitcoin market even bigger. And so just like I said in my earlier video, I'm not here to teach you. I'm not here to make you do something. I'm here to show you information and tell you where things I see and what I hear, and then give you my opinion on it, but then it's up to you to act on it. Obviously, when Trump says you got to vote because it's too big to rig, and he says other things, he has now just told you he's going to make a big play with Bitcoin. You can do whatever you want with that. If I were a prudent person, I would begin learning as much as I can about it and, look into it. I had someone contact me and they said they were Elon Musk, said they were going to give Bitcoin, but I had to pay, obviously, scam. The glitch last week makes me think twice about digital currency. Understand, but look what I did. Just put 20 or 50 bucks in it. Just get used to, what is this thing? I have to get a wallet? Okay, so how do I fund it? There's so many steps that you can take with literally no money. Instead of having an account with 50 grand in it, or having to do all these different things, if you were going to buy a single stock of Google years ago, one stock you'd be basically rich, or one stock of Berkshire Hathaway, you'd be loaded. Just learn. That's my word for you in regards to Bitcoin. If you support President Trump, you need to vote. End of story. Oh, okay. I didn't know this. Trump himself owns $4 million in crypto. Obviously, when you look at that number, when he says, Sheldon says he owns $4 million in crypto, what is $4 million to Trump relative to your income? What I mean by that is, he didn't put $1 billion into it. He put $4 million into it. He put a fraction of what his worth is into crypto, so he can I guarantee you, he with his advisors, he's beginning to learn, what do I do with this, so that he can understand when he brings in his advisor, whether it's Vivek or whoever, and say, okay, let's run with this. What are we doing? How do we do it? How do we make everybody like you, like me, understand what to do? On the flip side, Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren and these nuts, what they want to do, understand this difference here. What they want to do is take digital currency and have the United States run it, the government, where they will be able to see every single transaction you ever make. If that doesn't scare you, I don't know what would. Gonna go to the grocery store, they're gonna see what you bought. Gonna get gas, you walk in, buy a soda, they're gonna see it. I mean, you shouldn't have that soda. We're not gonna approve this purchase. Huh? Think that's not far-fetched? Think again. The economic world that you, me, grew up in doesn't exist anymore. It just doesn't exist. It's a frightening place for a lot of people who are my age or even older who have basically relied on things being a certain way. And now all of a sudden it's like taking a snow cube and you shake it and all this stuff is flying around because everything was safe and everything was right where it was supposed to be, and somebody just took that snow globe and shook it. And that's where we are financially in this country. Blame Joe, blame the world, blame them shipping money off to Ukraine. Oh, I shouldn't have said that word. Blame them doing all this stuff. But now there's no going back. You know, when he says make America great again, it's not, there's no way to go back to how life used to be. It's out there now. We just have to make sure they don't get their hands on it. That's the scary part. It's called peekaboo economics and its total surveillance. Yeah, that would be central bank digital currency. Somebody says, I have 4,500 XLM Stellar. I'm up $406. See, there's a guy that I don't even know what XLM Stellar is. That hasn't gotten to my level of intelligence yet where I can speak to what XLM Stellar is, but that's obviously another coin. So scary. Are we headed towards the mark of the beast? I don't think so. Because from my biblical knowledge, and I can ask Pastor JJ next time we have a talk, the mark of the beast was that there was an actual mark. Some people say it's going to be a card that you have to use to conduct business. That would be the mark of the beast. Bitcoin is simply a hedge. It's another coin. Instead of having this one, you just have something else. So you're not required to use Bitcoin. So it's not the mark of the beast. They're just saying instead of having this thing being used, you can use something else. Basically like having that in a credit card. Feels like we're in the end times. I can't disagree with what we're seeing. And I can't imagine if what happened 2 weeks ago would have happened now. Where if it had happened, where would we be today? Scary. I don't think enough people dwell on that. I don't think enough people pray on that and go, this time, 2 weeks ago, many of you and myself, we were watching the rally. And we saw pop, 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 pop. And we saw him get up. Have you thought, what would life be today if he didn't get up? What would life be 2 months from now? Pray about that. So yeah, it does look like the end time. Google owns this platform. Their stock not doing very well. They're responsible for left-wing speech police, infringement of peace speech, censorship, anti-American, and yup. Bible says it'll be taken on right arm or forehead. Yes, I have read that. Patriots, buy some poo-poos and freedom seeds. Be prepared, MAGAs, you will be able to barter with them. Okay. Civil War is where we would be today if they had succeeded in whoever they is. Okay, so, Aaron, you're asking me a question. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. The only thing I do know is that these people are obviously desperate. Their lust for power and their lust for forcing their way of life and ideology upon us is probably secondary to a civil war and safety. I mean, think about it. You want to talk about end times and another attempt. I don't know how many of you guys have been watching. I'd love to hear from you. How many of you have seen what has happened at the Olympics? You want to talk about end times. I've talked to quite a few people today, and one of the things I talked to people about today, having been in marketing for a long time, having been in television in terms of on the other side, not in front of the camera, but in terms of buying advertising and programming, having done music, concerts, things like that. NBC had to have been deeply involved in the production of what went on last night. They can't get off the hook by saying, we didn't know that these people were going to do some blasphemous stuff like this. We didn't know that they were going to try to recreate the Last Supper with Transformers. We didn't know that this guy was going to be basically naked and have his thing hang out in front of kids. We didn't know all that. And to wit, I would say, you're full of it. You are absolutely full of it. The Olympics are a once every 4-year event. It's not like something just happened. They ran down to a hurricane and took some pictures. Every single minute of what that Olympic production was has been scripted, rehearsed, production meetings for months, if not years. They even you had to make sure I have a cameraman sitting here at this level so I can cut to it. So the director can say on his board, let's cut to camera 2, cut back to camera 3. You had to know every single thing that was going to happen. There is no separation at this point from what we saw, and hopefully maybe some of you didn't see it, from NBC. NBC, with clear malice of forethought, looked at the script, understood the production schedule, and said, this looks good to me. Yeah, let's run with it. Macron, you're representing your country, hosting the world. The world is coming to you. And you said, yeah, this looks good to me. And then it blows up yesterday, and everybody's got egg on their face and pointing in different directions, and sponsors and advertisers are pulling out, and you got athletes going, I came here to swim. I came here to run. I didn't know I was getting involved in this. I didn't know that you guys were going to try and make a Transformer statement on the opening ceremonies. I'm not into that. I'm just an athlete. I'm here to play volleyball or run track or do weightlifting. I'm not part of this crap. Why did you do that? Why did you make an affront towards Christianity as the hallmark of your opening ceremonies? And how many people knew and how many people gave the okay? So when you say, are we near the end times? I saw stuff last night that I just could not believe I was watching. And luckily, I wasn't the only one. I would venture to say millions of people were like, what the heck is this? And obviously they used stronger words. And, did you guys see it? Brandon, I can't even show it. Well, I can't show it because NBC at this point took so much heat, they took it down. And they've erased it from their broadcast. if I would have boycotted if I was in it, USA should boycott. They should walk away. They should absolutely walk away. Yeah, I felt so. Somebody said, "Where's that?" Yeah, I really feel sorry for the people that have worked so hard to excel at their competition, and they had to walk around in that. I'm not exaggerating. They used Transformers to replicate The Last Supper. If you want to go ahead and Google some of the pictures, maybe I can find pictures. I can't show video. Let me do opening. Let's see if they scrubbed this. Opening ceremonies, Olympics. Because those of you who haven't seen it will just be, your jaws will drop. Let me see if there's images. No, they scrubbed. I'm seeing here. Oh, it's funny if you go. Oh yeah, here's one. Okay, here it is. So I'm gonna drop this here. All right, so I'm Christian. This appalled me, and if you don't want to see it, I would look away, because this is just a taste of what they did last night. It's just a small taste. Hold on, let me pull this up. Okay. There you go. This was a video that they actually put up. So this guy with the red thing, bearded dude who was supposed to be Jesus, and the rest of the people back there are all Transformers, and they were doing all kinds of weird stuff. It's funny, because as I search for this on Google right now, as I'm showing you this, that's the only picture I can find right now. So they've basically scrubbed the internet to take this stuff off. It was... Somebody goes, "No, Barry, I don't want to see it again." Yeah, really was so cringe. Yeah, NBC, yep, YouTube, aggression called censorship. Yeah, it's funny. I can't say certain words, but they can put that stuff on TV and all over YouTube. They glorify it. And what's funny, you know for a fact, there is no way it would never happen. They would never do that to Muhammad. Not going to happen. It's only Christians that they want to vilify and have us just recoil in disgust. I don't get it. I don't understand what the need is to make Christians look the way they do. It's nuts. Yeah, it was absolutely disgusting. Absolutely. And yes, Michelle, it was. I'm telling you, if your stomach turns by looking at that picture, don't go trying to find the video. There was one segment where they had a pale rider on a horse. And if you know what a pale rider is from Revelation, that's exactly what they had. Then they had a imagery of the Statue of Liberty shot like in Pow Pow. It was incredible, because, see, I can't even say that. Hope NBC goes bankrupt. We are far too polite. You know what's funny is I don't even know at this point who would have enjoyed that. I mean, I have to think to myself, the market for that is so infinitesimally small that it was intentionally to disgust people. I know I saw probably, let's see, when I was looking around, I probably saw 20 or so gay videos today, from gay people, I mean, and they were disgusted. They could not believe what was happening. They have basically shifted things to an nth degree, and they're expecting everybody just to embrace it. You have to like it. That's who we are now, and it's crazy. I didn't watch it. I just saw it on the Biker Guy YouTube. I hope he didn't show it, because if he showed it, he's going to get copyright strike on him. They'll tear it down. They're trying to desensitize us to their sickness. Yeah. I can't disagree with that at all. We need to stop being clueless sheep to the woke media. Come on, people. Yeah, we've been saying that. Where is this one? This is very good. Those who mock God are cursing themselves. I don't think they even care, because you'd have to believe in God to worry about having God's retribution. If you don't believe it, I mean, I saw some threads and like, what are you people all worried about? You know, it's this cartoon character. It's just like your fictional Jesus. It's just like, you guys make believe that this thing is true. And, all it was a performance art. There's just people just explaining it away. No big deal. That's what it is. Just deal with it. And I actually retweeted or responded to somebody. I'm like, if it's no big deal, why is it always our religion? If everybody's just, oh, that's just perfect art, it's beautiful, it's color, it's fantastic. All right, do it with Muhammad. Do it with Buddha. Why is it always the Christian that you have to ridicule? Because that was ridicule. Don't tell me that was art. That was absolutely making fun of things. You made fun of the Last Supper. I mean, of all the things you could actually make fun of, you're basically making fun of the end of Jesus' life. The Last Supper, and you're all out there with all, man, make your stomach bleed. God is real and he's coming soon. This is funny. Yeah, exactly. They call us a cult. Yet, that stuff they do. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. They will... Really? Really? Is that true? You guys... I didn't know that. That Macron's wife is a transformer. I did not know that. It's funny. Disney is just as bad with their woke agenda towards kids. Now, here's what's really, really odd. My grandkids love Mickey Mouse. I went on vacation last weekend, and I went up to Disney World in Orlando. And I had my eyes wide open. And I'm scanning and scanning and scanning to make sure if I saw anything, I would avert their eyes. Didn't see much. Looks like J.D. Vance is making his way to the stage. If J.D. starts talking, he's got him and his wife, he's going to speak. So I think it would behoove us to take a listen to what J.D. has to say. She just walked him up to the stage. I got to make sure there's no music playing. Hold on. Where's my thing here? Okay. While he's doing this.
Wow. It is great to be in St. Cloud, Minnesota. God bless you guys.
Can you guys hear all right? Let me know the volume to it. Let me check before Trump gets up. So let me know if you can hear this clearly.
Wow.
Hopefully it's not squeaky.
First, let me start on a somber note, if I can. I want to open my remarks with a word about the horrific rocket attack in northern Israel that killed at least 11 people, teenagers and children as young as 10 years old. We heard about this just earlier today. Now, of course, it's absolutely shocking, and it's a reminder of what happens when Donald J. Trump is not president of the United States. It makes the whole world weaker and more chaotic. Now, no nation should or can tolerate this terrible stuff, and I know this audience stands with Israel and stands with our friends. Let's get President Trump back in office and get this war over with. And when Donald J. Trump is president again, the days of moral equivocation on this issue and so many others will be over. We got to finish the job and get this thing over with. Now, I want to talk about what's going on in this country. And of course, all of us learned the hard way over the last week and a half, if you didn't already know it, that Joe Biden cannot do the job as President of the United States. In fact, exactly 1 month ago, President Trump wiped the floor with Joe Biden on the debate stage, exposing a massive cover-up of that president's moral and mental incapacity. And he saved this country from 4 more years of one of the worst presidents in American history. So let's thank President Trump for getting rid of Joe Biden once and for all. Thank you. And during that same time, President Trump accepted our party's nomination with overwhelming support. We held one of the most successful conventions in history, and he even took a bullet for the country that he loves and didn't miss a single day of work. Just imagine what he's going to do with 4 more years. Now, we've got some of our friends in the media back there, and after they deserve it. After covering up Joe Biden's mental incapacity and incompetence for 3.5 years, now the media is at it again. For 3.5 years, my friends, they told us that Joe Biden was Abraham Lincoln. And now the media tells us that Kamala Harris is Martin Luther King Jr. Can you believe it? But we all know she's not MLK, just as Joe Biden was not Abraham Lincoln. We know that she is a card-carrying member of the San Francisco lunatic fringe. Ain't that right? And America is not going to be fooled by the media's lies anymore. Now, everybody knows that Kamala Harris owns every failure of the ultra-liberal policies of the last 4 years. As America's border czar, and she was the border czar, the media all said it, Kamala Harris is directly responsible for the worst border crisis in this nation's history. On her watch, more than 10 million illegal aliens have invaded our country, and it wasn't by accident, it was by design. Creating this flood of illegal immigration is the purpose of the ultra-liberal immigration policies. They said they were going to do it, and then they did it on Kamala Harris's first day in office. They suspended deportations, they stopped building Donald Trump's border wall, they reinstated catch and release, and they proposed amnesty for millions of illegal aliens. On the first moment, from the moment go, Kamala Harris and the Democrats sent engraved invitations to millions of illegal immigrations around the world. And now they're here because they were invited. They were invited by our own border czar. Can you believe it? Now, the chief of Border Patrol was appointed over a year ago, but Border Czar Kamala Harris hasn't even spoken a single word to him. This administration handed 3 million work permits to illegal immigrants, destroying American jobs and crushing American wages. And if the border czar wins, she will not only give jobs to illegal aliens, she's talking about giving them free health care, free tuition, all paid for at your expense. I agree. Worst of all, Kamala Harris would happily erode every protection we have to prevent them from voting. She wants to hand over control of our country to people who shouldn't be here in the first place, and we cannot let her. And I have a message, a very simple message to the millions of illegal aliens who are in this country and shouldn't be. If you are here, start packing your bags right now, because Donald J. Trump is coming back into office. Now, what bothers me most about Kamala Harris's liberal policies is that she pretends that they're compassionate, but they hurt the least fortunate members of the American family. It is what the Bible calls the least of these that suffer the most under Kamala Harris's policies. Now, I know this, my friends, because I myself grew up in a poor family. I was one of those kids who suffered under Democrat misrule, and I know that if we let these guys gain power, it's going to be people who grew up like I did that suffer the most. Now, a lot of you know my story. You know that things worked out for me. I was able to achieve the American dream because this is a great country that gives opportunities to people, and we got to make sure it stays that way. And I benefited, of course, from the incredible bounty of this country. I also benefited from a very tough grandmother who raised me because my own mom struggled with addiction. And I'll tell you, there are a lot of things that keep kids on the straight and narrow, but one, for me, was a grandmother who told me when she found out that I was hanging out with a local drug dealer, JD, if I ever see you with that kid again, I'm gonna run him over with my car. And then she added, and nobody will ever find out about it. And I believed her. And I came from that background, my friends, and I stand before you as your next Vice President of the United States. I love this country. But if we want to preserve that American dream for the next generation, if we want to build upon it, then we have got to win this election. We have got to bring the people's president back. That's President Donald J. Trump, and we're going to do everything we can to get him elected in November. And we're going to do it together. We're going to turn Minnesota red. We're going to turn this whole country red with President Donald J. Trump's leadership. And we're going to do it not just because we want to beat the Democrats, as fun as that will be, But because the American people depend on President Trump's leadership, and the clock is ticking, my friends, in 6 months, we are going to launch the largest deportation program in the history of this country.
Thanks, Nancy.
We're going to end catch and release and ban sanctuary cities, and then we're going to finally finish building that beautiful border wall. Now, we know Kamala Harris is not going to do this. She was ranked as the most extreme liberal in the United States Senate based on her voting record. And my friends, I serve with some pretty crazy liberals, and she was ranked ahead of all of them. She co-sponsored the Green New Scam, and she supports every insane environmental policy that's going to drive American workers out of business, drive the price of gasoline through the roof, and drive Americans further into poverty. She is 100% responsible for the inflation disaster that is destroying American families. And under President Trump, we had a booming economy with no inflation. Wages were going up and people were saving and young people were buying homes. Let's get back to that prosperity. We're going to fight for your ability to afford housing, education, healthcare, groceries. We want normal Americans to be able to afford a decent life in their own country. It sounds so simple, but it's got to happen. And one of the ways we're going to do it is drill, baby, drill. Get that stuff out of the ground. Get it from our own people. Get it from our own workers, and not from tin pot dictators all over the world. Now, some of this stuff, you read what Kamala Harris has said, and it's hard to believe. She wants to abolish ICE, legalizing squatting, and open the door for rapists, felons, terrorists, and murderers to vote. She also supports defunding the police. She opposes putting more cops in the street because she believes that police are a greater threat than the bloodthirsty criminals they lock up, and maybe they are a greater threat to her, but to hardworking American citizens, they are our protectors, and we back the blue in this country. Now, she wants to end cash bail, and what that means is that if you assault a police officer, you can be back on the street the very next day. In fact, when rioters and looters were burning American cities to the ground, including Minneapolis, Kamala Harris was raising money to bail them out of jail. Let's throw them in jail and support the cops. It's hard to believe, but it's true. She helped a group of anti-cop extremists raise more than $40 million to free scores of criminals right here in Minnesota. That's not across the country, that's just here in Minnesota. And I think in November, Minnesota's going to send her a message. They've had enough of Kamala Harris's garbage. They'd like to have a real president. You can't make it up. Some of the criminals freed by Kamala include a convicted rapist, a knife murderer, a domestic abuser, who later shot and killed a man while he was out on bail. It's so sad. Thanks to Kamala Harris, Minnesota neighborhoods have filled and will fill with violent criminals. President Trump, you know what he did? He put them behind bars where they belong. And here's the crazy thing. She also supports confiscating guns from law-abiding citizens. So the criminals get to have all the guns they want, but hardworking Americans get nothing to protect themselves. That is a recipe for disaster, and we're not going to let it happen.
Nope.
She wants to make us sitting ducks in our own country. That's the policy that Kamala Harris has pursued, and we are not going to let that happen. We are going to vote in big numbers in November, and we're going to take this country back, right? We're going to save this country for Americans of every race, color, and creed. We're going to do it the hard way. We're going to do it because this country is worth saving. We're going to do it by fighting through the media lies, and we're going to do it by electing Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Now, maybe the worst and most dishonest thing that Kamala Harris has done, and it is a long list, my friends, is that she helped cover up Joe Biden's declining mental capacity for years. It's actually sad. Putin, Xi, Kim Jong-un, all these dictators, they have been sitting in private rooms for 3.5 years, licking their chops because we have a president who can't actually do the job. Now, anyone who's too blind to see Biden's incompetence or too dishonest to admit it is not fit to serve as commander-in-chief. She lied to us. She lied to all of us, and it's unacceptable. And you know, they never give President Trump an easy path. Kamala Harris, the Democratic elites are trying to install her as their new nominee without her receiving a single vote for president. The media, our friends back there, they call it a coronation. I think there's another word. I call it a coup. In America, we do not crown our leaders, we vote for them. Democrat or Republican, you gotta give the voters a choice. But if there's one thing we've learned about Kamala Harris, it's that she has a hard time winning votes because she's too extreme even for the Democrat Party. Remember, in the 2020 primary, Harris dropped out months before they even cast the first vote. She was so unpopular, she polled in the low single digits among Democrats the entire campaign. She wasn't even the top 3 in her home state of California, and that is pretty embarrassing, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason is because Democrats know that the American people would never elect a San Francisco liberal who's so far outside the mainstream. Now, we've got to give some credit to our Democrat friends because they were right in 2020. The American people are never going to elect a wacky, out-of-touch San Francisco liberal like Kamala Harris. Now, I saw the other day, Kamala Harris questioned my loyalty to this country. That's the word she used, loyalty. And it's an interesting word, simplify, loyalty, because there is no greater sign of disloyalty to this country than what Kamala Harris has done at our southern border. And I'd like to ask the Vice President, what has she done to question my loyalty to this country? I served in the United States Marine Corps. I went to Iraq for this country. I built a business for this country. And my running mate took a bullet for this country. So my question to Kamala Harris is, what the hell have you done to question our loyalty to the United States of America?
Powerful, very powerful. Man. She can't come back to that.
And the answer, my friends, is nothing. So let's send a message to the media. Let's send a message to Kamala Harris. Let's send a message to every hardworking patriot from Minnesota across the country. We are ready to have President Donald J. Trump back, and we're going to work our tails off to make sure it happens. God bless you all. Thank you. And thank you for having me, Minnesota, a great state.
All right, that was J.D. Vance, and I thought he's getting better. I think he's really getting better right now. He's able to make a bigger speech. I mean, he's hitting his notes, understanding how he's got to do his cadence. I know there's a lot of people that don't like him. I understand. He's a vice president pick, and everybody had their choice on who they thought would be a better pick. Again, here's what I'm going to default to. And I'm just going to say it, and that's it. If you trust President Trump, if you think he is the guy, and you put your chips in behind President Trump, then you would need to basically accept the fact that that's the guy he feels would be the best vice president. That's my only basically criteria at that point. I don't really care all the other guys and what people are saying. I trust Trump means I trust Vance. I mean, yeah, there was a mistake obviously with Mike Pence, but I think Trump's not making that mistake again. He knows that he's got to be dead on. He's got to have his cabinet put in place, and you know, I just think I have to trust Trump. So that to me, if I were to rank all the different things about who would be vice president, that would be number one, the guy he picks. I'm not in his position. I haven't interviewed each one of these people. I don't know what he brings to the table that somebody else doesn't bring to the table. I know he did have a number of people that made, sense from a topical look, us looking at him. Like, yeah, he'd be good, she'd be good, whatever. But that's the guy he picked. So why are we second guessing it? Why is anybody? I've noticed some people in the chat here. Why are people second guessing it? If you don't like Vance, you're saying Trump made a bad pick. That doesn't make any sense to me. The swamp hates him for a reason. Yeah, they know he's not controllable. He's not going to be a deep state puppet. That's why they hate him. And so again, I don't have any criteria to look at. I know in the past he talked crap about Trump. Yeah, he did do that. But he's like, hey, listen, I didn't know the guy. I'm sorry, I didn't know him. I got to know him. I got to understand his mindset, and I'm like, okay, this is where I want to go. Come on, people. You can't have it both ways. You can't tell yourself, hey, listen, I am for Trump, but I don't trust him to make decisions. If you don't trust his vice president decision, how are you going to trust his other decisions? Go with it. Put your faith behind him. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, give Vance a chance. I mean, semper fi to exactly. Thank you very much, Bill. I try. Some people just can't quit complaining about something. I understand people being worried. And I think it stems back to Mike Pence. Mike Pence was a snake. Trump trusted him, and it bit him in the butt. But that's why I think that this year they've done everything, including taking a shot at him, because they know if you fooled me once, you're not going to fool me twice. I think they know Trump's coming in, and he's like, wait till you see what I do. That's going, that's going, that's going. I'm cleaning house all over the place. I'm going to release this. I'm going to release that. We're going to get this thing back on track. And I got screwed by a bunch of guys that I thought had my best interest last time. They didn't. Secretary of State, forget his name, but he didn't. You basically cut him off at the knees with Michael Flynn. Couldn't do that. This time, I think there's going to be hell to pay, and they know it. That's why they tried to basically throw him in jail. They tried to bankrupt him. And then, ultimately, somebody tried to take him out. Because they know what's coming. So, in that regard, where we are as a country right now, I think mandates what he has to do. If you guys joined late and go back to the beginning, he went to a Bitcoin convention today. I'm sure that's making Kamala Harris's head spin that he went to a Bitcoin convention and said, we're going all in. Just think about that for a second. If you didn't see the beginning of this video, rewind it later, go back to it. But he went to a Bitcoin convention with thousands of people cheering him. These are people who wouldn't ordinarily be Trump fans. He's expanding the tent. He's making it bigger. He's reaching out to another group of people, some serious influencers. And he's like, I am going to make Bitcoin a priority. We are going to do this. Kamala can't say anything. She's totally in reaction mode. She wants to raise taxes on everybody. The last thing they want is people promoting Bitcoin. And Trump said, yeah, we're going to do it. And I'm sure there's economists and rhinos out there who are like, Bitcoin, don't do that. Yeah. Watch what happens to Bitcoin on Monday. Like I said, let me put that up again, just so you guys know. I'm going to take a snapshot myself. Look at this, okay? This is the Bitcoin pricing over the last month. This is the Bitcoin pricing over the last day. It's gone up and down, up and down, up and down. Right now, it sits at 68,687.6. Check that on Monday. In fact, like I said, screenshot it. Screenshot it now while you guys can see it. Take a picture with your phone. Boom. That's the Bitcoin. Oh, wait a minute. I'm smiling so when you take the screenshot, you can see me. I'm smiling. Anyway, take a take a snapshot of that price today. And that Monday morning, check that price. With Trump walking into the Bitcoin convention today and saying, we're going all in. We're going to make sure, we're going to fire the SEC director. We are going to go all in and get Bitcoin rolling. What do you think is going to happen come Monday? You think that's going to tank or you think it's going to go up? Yeah, you know exactly what's going to happen. You know exactly. But go ahead and take your snapshot now and watch it. He's changing things up and there's nothing, understand this right now, there's nothing Kamala Harris can respond with. Anything she responds with is basically going to detract from her. If she says, I don't like Bitcoin because we can't control it, the Bitcoiners and all their influencers and everybody associated with that market are going to give her the middle finger. If she says, no, I'd rather do central bank digital currency, so she's going to lose all those people. She's going to basically have to acquiesce this to Trump. It's going to be Trump's baby at this point, and there's nothing she can do about it. But I hope you took a snapshot because watch what happens on Monday, maybe Tuesday, because maybe what you'll see Monday is a lot of people selling because they're profit taking. Obviously, profit taking is when you see something going up, you sell a bunch so you can make some money, and that sometimes can cause a drop. But maybe what we should be looking at instead of the pricing is, I'm looking for volume on here. Okay, how many shares trade hand is basically look at what how many Bitcoins exchange, how many get sold and bought and things of that nature. The volatility of the market. all the snakes know what's going to happen when Trump wins, and you bet as we speak they're planning. Where'd they go? They are planning and doing everything in their power to steal the election, register to vote, and then vote. How sad is it that we actually have to think that's what they're but we have to. Buy and hold, it will go way up later on. Yep. Don't have to put your life savings in it. Just put like whatever you have available. Put some money in that, put some money in gold, see what happens. Because now that he has made his call, he has said what he's going to do, I don't know how they react. It's going to just get ugly for them. So, crazy, absolutely crazy. Has Kamala ever debated anybody besides Tulsi Gabbard? Well, she was on the entire stage during the Democrat in 2020. She was running for president, so she was out there. That's when she called Joe a racist. So she's done it. Who is what? Wow, that's pretty nasty, bro. Who's this dumb SPIC? What are you talking about? That's crazy. Praying Minnesota becomes red. Yeah, it's going to take a lot. Attack on Israel to cause a drop today, almost right when Trump was supposed to be speaking. I wonder. But see, the markets aren't open today. I mean, there's futures, but the market has not opened as of yet. I sure hope that Trump can win. I can't deal with this crap anymore. Yeah, exactly. Again, he's president. Take it from a billionaire. If he put $4 million of his own money into Bitcoin, that tells me something. Obviously, he didn't pull his life savings and everything into it. He took a small percentage. I mean, if he's a billionaire and he put $4 million, it's like us putting $50 in probably. But he put some money in there so that he can see what's going on. Let me check the stage. Not yet. He's late, of course. Wait a minute. Let's see. Is he walking out yet? No, I don't see him walking out. What I'll do is they're just spanning the crowd right now. Looks like it's hot in this arena. A lot of people doing running fans. All right, keep going. I've watched JD in action in Congress. This is the man. Great. Kamala was right about Joe. It's crazy. Elizabeth, here's somebody who's going to freak out. She can't stand that people may buy Bitcoin. She hates it because she can't control it. Kuda Brown says, my brother owned 10 Bitcoins back in 2015 and sold them all when they hit 2,000 and thought he made a killing. Did you do a wellness check? Because he sold them when they hit 2,000 and right now they're at $70,000. Oh my God. How many people did that? Adam Electric says Bitcoin is open 24/7. Then why am I not seeing any change on here? Oh, actually I do. It just moved. I'm sorry. It did move. So you're absolutely correct. It's still moving. And it was right when he talked. So it actually is fluctuating right now. Get in. Definitely get in. He needs to stop the late thing. He was always on time as president. So I have a theory with this. My theory is, especially with what happened on July 13th, he no longer is going to take a stage anywhere until he probably has a redundant issuance of all clear. Now, some of you guys that may be police officers or something in here, you don't want to give yourselves away, but does that make sense to you that at this point, having had a shot at him, that they're not letting him get on stage anymore until they are absolutely certain there's an all clear? I mean, I wouldn't let him get back on stage. I'm like, nope, you ain't going anywhere until we basically do a full sweep. And if we do that full sweep, then we'll let you get back on stage. But right now, no, I wouldn't let him get on stage until such time as counter snipers were in place and dogs has sniffed the stage and everything. Everything is gonna have to be by the book from now on. I would say. But what's the best way to invest in Bitcoin? Learn. don't do it. Don't do anything until you learn. It's so complicated at this point, and I can't explain it. I'm new to it myself. I'm just literally, I'm going to use the word playing. I just put $100 in. Like I said earlier, I pay my one of my graphics designers with it, and I just look to see what I should do. Just get in, put $20-$50 in, and just learn the system. Like somebody had asked me earlier. Let me just answer this. Somebody, JL said, what Bitcoin app do you use? Can you show us? It's called Coinbase. I mean, basically, let me see if I can bring up their website. It's an app. And let me put this up on screen. And this is my app. It's very easy. The most popular crypto app in America. Join millions of America who trust Coinbase to buy, sell, and use crypto. And so that's what I use. Maybe some of these people who are in here on the chat may look at this and go, no, don't use Coinbase. There's a problem. So you guys, I use Coinbase. Let me know if I should not be using Coinbase or I should be using something else. But that's who I use right now. I just put my money into Robinhood and it went right through. Robinhood's another one. Yep. Learn. Gotta learn. It's new. It's something new. When I say both you and me, we're gonna have to learn it. It is the future. No way around it. It is the future. So get used to it. Yeah, I noticed that Kamala is spending. Well, at the same time, good. I love that she's spending as much money as she possibly can, and she's putting it on my videos where she's basically wasting her money. Good. Do I think Bitcoin is good for us? I don't know if Catalea is still out here. Maybe some of the other people can respond to that. Like I said, I'm learning it myself, and so it's very. How can I say that? The intricacies of it, and there are a lot of people who are much more advanced than I am. Like I said, I've just bought some Bitcoin so I could learn how to use it. And I've been kind of remiss not keeping up on it. It's easy, I'll tell you that. Coinbase, I don't know if they're the best exchange, but they're easy. And you can move money around and do what you want to do. But so, is it good for you? Can't hurt. I mean, again, don't put a whole bunch of money in that you can't afford to lose or something could happen. But $100 here or $200 there until you become really proficient. Obviously, that one gentleman said, his brother had thousands of dollars in it. So, yeah, crypto is the future and in infancy. No to Robinhood. Look what they did for GameStop. You're way advanced. There's a lot of people here who don't know about the GameStop and ape stocks. So there's somebody else here who says Robinhood is easy to use. Please research Dogecoin. Dogecoin is Elon Musk created that one. I have some Dogecoin in another wallet. Yes, it's good. I think I pay for Stash. I'm thinking something with the pre-platform. What's the difference between Coinbase and Bitcoin? Coinbase is your app. Bitcoin is the actual digital currency. So you understand what I'm saying? When I showed you on screen, that was my digital wallet per se. It's where I log in to see my balances and do transactions. But the actual transactions are done with Bitcoin, Dogecoin. There's a whole bunch of them out there. And that's why, again, it just depends on where you want to do. I mean, I've got one coin. What's it called? It's crazy. What is it here? All right, so I have a coin. This is funny. This will make you laugh as I'm watching the stage. Bitcoin right now is around 68,000, right? I have a coin that I have here called Shiba INU. Shiba INU is a tenth of a penny. I mean, it's like 0.00017, and I've got $5 into it. $5, but it's up 39%. I've got something else called Decentraland, another coin. It's up almost 1%, and I've got $1.35 in it. So there are all these different coins, and you can do all kinds of different things with them. Bingos. See, this is the opportunity for low-income earners to change their lives. One of the videos I made about a week ago, I said not a week ago, maybe a couple days ago, and I said one of the things that people don't understand is what government is there for. And I said, with me, what I want government to do is get out of my way and provide opportunity. I don't need government to do things for me. I need government to make sure I can seize the opportunity. Well, right now, every single one of you, it doesn't matter what your economic point in life is right now, has the opportunity to get involved in Bitcoin. No lie. It doesn't matter. And then, as this gentleman says here, or woman, this is the opportunity for low-income earners to change their lives. Literally. I mean, think about it. If you buy a Bitcoin, like one of these coins, and it's like a 1 cent, and you put $10 into it, and then you keep watching, and then all of a sudden it goes up to 2 cents, you just doubled your money. Now you only put $10 in, so you're only up to 20. But imagine if that was 100. Maybe it was 200. You made $400. So it all depends. Nitro Border says had like 2,000 in Bitcoin when it was 14 a bit back in like 2012. Thinking about that. It's $68,000 right now for one, and he had it for $14. We didn't know what we were doing. We were just buying a coin here. Imagine, okay, just imagine. He had that one coin that was worth $14 back in 2012. If he had a wallet like I have and just sat it there, just didn't do anything, he'd open it today and go, whew, I got $68,000 on a $14 investment. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm checking. He's not out there yet. Will it mess with my Social Security disability? It's an asset, but if you're just learning it, no. I mean, if you put $15-20 in it and just learn the system, it's not, unless of course you buy something that, goes to the moon, then it could be bad. I wonder if someone made the power go out in Paris. Why? What's going on in Paris? Are they not able to do anything? YouTube keeps unscribing me. I hear that from people. I don't know what's wrong with this company. They don't want us talking about Trump, obviously. Don't like us having the ability to converse and talk about what's really going on in the world. And so they have a problem with that. Garden Gal says, for doing some online stuff years ago, I was offered a choice, one Bitcoin or a $25 Amazon gift certificate. I took the sure thing. I could have $68,000 right now. Yeah, especially for people who are talking about, it's your retirement or something. You never know. It's so new. It's in its infancy. I know a guy who bought a Domino's pizza for 10,000 Bitcoin when it first came out. His little promotion thing. Kick himself in the butt right now. Yeah. So people are saying there's a blackout in Paris. Yep. Well, good. They deserve it for what they did yesterday. They absolutely deserve it. So it's 8:13. Checking the screen. People are standing up. As of right now, no indication that Trump is looking to take the stage. So, not really sure what's going on there, but he's not taking the stage. Let me just look at this. I'm checking. Not there. So he goes the new world order. Vance with Trump is a winner any day over the crackling camel toe. Absolutely. Wow. I would love to see it right now that they're going through a blackout in Paris. What time is it in Paris? Wouldn't it be the morning? It's 8 o'clock here. Aren't they like 12 hours ahead? So why would it be a blackout? It'd be daytime, wouldn't it? Yeah, good for those sickos. Nothing on Newsmax about it. People are saying, Martin Luther King, I have a dream that a man will be judged by his content and not the color of his skin. Wouldn't that be nice? You know what's funny? When you mention that, not to get off too far off track, but Martin Luther King today would not be heralded as a type of person he was back in the 60s. He's not far left enough. You know, John F. Kennedy, ask not what your country could do for you, but what you can do for your country. They had us memorize that in school. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. He was a Democrat. Could never get elected in the Democrat Party today. You see what happened to his nephew, RFK Jr. rather. Can't. Democrats don't want nothing to do with him. Nothing. When's it going to be funny if he basically gets in bed with Trump? I mean, it's looking like if he stays in, he stays in. If he doesn't stay in, he's going to throw his support to Trump. But I just wonder if Trump will bring him on. It's 2:15 a.m. in Paris, and so they're 6 hours ahead, and the city is in darkness. Interesting, in darkness. MLK was a Republican. I didn't know that. See how God works. He will not be mocked. Good. All right, so I'm checking the screen here, and I still don't see him coming up. Yeah, Democrats hate RFK. Be informed. I'm not saying anybody's stupid. I'm not calling anyone stupid. I'm just saying get involved, get educated, understand what you're doing, and now's a good time to start. Some of us are further along than others. I'm a neophyte. I don't know enough about this yet. I'm learning. I'm definitely looking to go further with it because I want to get involved in it. So let's see here. Wow, the process to sign up was overwhelming. Somebody talking about Bitcoin. I am buying Dev token, new blockchain. It's like buying Bitcoin at 5 cents, fastest blockchain by 100 times. Do your research first. I'm going to have to look into that. God wins every time. Ain't that the truth? Absolutely. Who named Pastor King's I Have a Dream speech? Not really sure. Don't know the answer to that. No, Denise, you're absolutely right. I'm not calling anybody stupid. I was just saying we are all at different levels on the journey. Some of us are further along than others. Like that one woman I was talking to, Catalea, and she was talking about where she was, and she like I said, in one comment, she mentioned like 6 things, and I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. We need to get a Bitcoin expert on here. Am I on Tommy Lawrence? Where was that? Am I on Rumble? No, I'm not on Rumble. And here's why. I'm on Twitter and I'm on YouTube. Facebook kicked me off a while ago. And I just don't have the time to go through and start another platform like Rumble. It's just not something I'm looking to do at this point. Where's that? I just said that. Marianne says, Barry, that's why we listen to you, because you always give us a good update and you tell us what's going on and we know it's true. Thank you so much. I think you're awesome. Thank you very much for tuning in. And like I said, I wasn't calling anybody stupid. I'm just saying there are things I don't know. There are things I do know. There are things that some of you in the chat would know much better. So just educate yourself on things. If you haven't seen my video earlier from today, I did a long, detailed, informative video on why I believe Kamala Harris, Kamala, whatever you say her name, is pretty much done. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Elon Musk has created a platform where people can actually share things, and every single hour, every single half hour, there's more and more and more videos about Kamala Harris that there's no way she can stop it. People's eyes are getting open. That honeymoon phase is going to shorten by a lot, because more and more people are seeing stuff that she was probably hoping people wouldn't see. And they jumped into this was stupid. I'll call this stupid. They stupidly jumped into a censorship and shutdown effort where they were basically telling people what you see and what you hear. That didn't happen. Except for the fact you can't stop the content. You can't stop people from sharing content over on Twitter. And if you said, Kamala never said that, somebody's going to go, oh yeah, she did. Here it is right here. And it's happening so much that they can't even do that. The news stations look absolutely stupid now because they spent so much time trying to protect her, so much time trying to tell people, no, she never said that. She didn't. And there's just like, it's a video cornucopia indicting her. It's just information everywhere. So her honeymoon stage is going to be short. It was all great. Kamala was the best thing since sliced bread. She's going to be perfect. And now you went and ruined it. You know, you might have been better not saying anything at all than trying to tell people what they had seen didn't happen. Because then they had to just prove you wrong. And then once they started proving you wrong, good luck. Good luck. We are live. We're not behind. We're just waiting for him to take the stage. So we are live right now. Not sure what's going on with him. Somebody said they know Bitcoin. Where was that? Okay, Steve-O's World. And there's a couple other people. If you want to hit somebody up in the comments, go ahead and hit up Steve-O's World. See if he knows what's going on. But whatever. Yeah, there's just so many receipts on her. Why is there no audio on Trump's channel? Can't tell you. Maybe it's maybe it's YouTube again. Can't tell you. Most news stations are irrelevant. Yeah, and plus, by the time something hits a news channel, understand this, by the time they go through their editors, and then they get it produced, and then they get it written, and then they get a time slot, and it's already been talked about all over the place on Twitter. Hey, something, like for instance, right now, you guys are talking about the blackout, and you're seeing it somewhere that this blackout is happening. Well, I can guarantee you, if I went to X, let me just go there. They're probably already talking about it in volume about the blackout. And there's probably some people from France. Imagine that. Today, you could talk to somebody in France in real time. So let me see if I see what people are saying. Maybe we can show some information on that. Let me just look up blackout. Yeah, let me just go ahead and put that up. All right, one day after displaying some of the most satanic rituals and symbolisms, Paris has now experienced a blackout. And people are showing, the entire country is basically, the entire city is basically blacked out. Breaking, a major power outage, blackouts has struck Paris. This comes just 24 hours after Christianity was mocked during the opening ceremony of the Olympics. Breaking news, Paris is currently experiencing a massive blackout just the day after the 2024 World Olympic Games. Many Christians are celebrating this blackout from across the globe. Yeah, we don't want to be mocked. And nobody wants to see this stuff. And as I said, I'm still looking at the monitor. He has not walked out yet. Owen Schreier, Paris Olympic blackout, God striking down for all the Satanism in opening ceremony, or blamed on Iran. Interesting. People are saying that. And so, yeah, Paris right now suffering from a blackout, and Emmanuel Macron, people are laughing at him. Parts of Paris currently suffering from a blackout during the Olympics. Millions of people around the world are relieved. It just goes on and on. Donald Trump parody. And so notice as I'm going through this stuff, this is something interesting I want to show you. And I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Paris in a complete blackout. You notice anything as I scroll? How it started, how it's going. Notice anything? All right, so I'm going to tell you. You don't see CNN, ABC, CBS. These are all people. Where are the news? Where are the news sites? They're too late. I mean, I could scroll. When the blackout happens, the internet commission go down. Everyone in the world will start to panic, and every Q follower will celebrate. We are not the same. Yeah, there's nothing here from the big news sites. So that's how you can tell that these guys are so far behind. It is now 8:25. No sign of Trump as of yet. Not sure why. Like I said, it might be security driven. But I'm looking here and I don't see anything from any of the major news sites because they probably don't have the authorization to even talking about it yet. Let me check CNN. Okay, CNN. Oh, this is funny. Let me show you this. This is CNN with their 62 million followers. Yeah, right. Their last post was 3 hours ago. You see what I mean? That's 3 hours ago. This one is 4 hours ago. They are so far behind, and they're missing all of that news. They have nothing to say about it. That's what I'm talking about. They can no longer keep up with the pace of real-time news going out there across the world, basically. Trump Vance 2024. He says, I just got $20 of Bitcoin on Cash App. Whew, go for it, bro. Go for it. EMP in Paris. That's interesting. Did somebody launch an EMP? Yeah. If it ain't about Trump, they aren't supposed to say anything. And that's another thing. Most of the talking heads you see on television, the Jim Acostas, all these people, they don't work on the weekends. And because they don't work on you, that's the same thing with Fox. You're not going to see, Jesse Waters and Laura Ingraham and Sean Hannity on the weekends. It's always the B and C level people. So if news breaks over the weekend, like it did when Trump got shot, they all had to come in from wherever they were and rush to the studios because they wanted their main people on television. But other than that, that ain't happened. The wrath of God is coming for them. Yeah. Oh, I saw this. Kamala appeared on RuPaul's show. I don't know what she's thinking, man. I really don't know what she was thinking. So we are at just about turning 8:30. I'm looking at the monitor now. No sign of Trump. I'll put this monitor on. I'll just have to cut the music.
I had that. Donald Trump is...
Let's see. Nothing yet. So you guys can see yourself. He's not on his way out. I don't know what the holdup is. They never say. But I got to believe at this point it's got to be security because of everything going on. We need James O'Keefe to head the FBI. Exactly. The world doesn't stop on the weekend. Yeah, nope, it does not. And thank God for... Where's that? Thank God for Elon. We get it all weekend long. Let's see here. Yeah, thank God for Elon. We get real news in real time. See, that's the other thing. It's real news in real time. This is a good point here. Interesting. Maybe very serious situation going on in Paris might have Trump's attention. I didn't even think about that. I mean, the other thing with that bomb going off in Israel, I don't know if Bibi Netanyahu is back over there yet. Interesting. Very interesting. His flight might have been late coming from Nashville, they're saying. Remember, Nashville is where the Bitcoin conference was. So, is that Laura Ingraham talking live on the rally? No, that's not her. Not always accurate, though. So you have to see, that's where the trick is, just like with Bitcoin. You got to do your homework. Make sure you follow the right people who give you the right information. That isn't just some schlub looking for engagement. Somewhere there is a graphic that showed how many news media folks were married to Democrat politicians. Yeah, I've seen that. It's pretty crazy. Elon Musk tells the mainstream media go to H. Yeah. No, Paris is in darkness right now. Okay, somebody said Bibi is en route to Israel, and it was a missile, not a bomb. Okay. I actually, what I heard was it was a drone. So somebody's on stage. Let's listen and see who this guy is.
24, and the crowd was fire, but they are nothing like this. So my name is Howard Lutnick, and I'm from the company Cantor Fitzgerald. Now, some of you may remember that my offices were located on the 101st to the 105th floors of the World Trade Center.
Good story here.
See, I was taking my son to his first day of kindergarten that day. That's why I'm alive. But we lost 960, right? We lost 658 people of our 960 employees. My brother Gary died, he was 36. My best friend Doug, he was 39. And all those families. So I know jihad. I understand jihad. And we need Donald J. Trump to crush jihad. I see the great Representative Emmer to my right. Fantastic. So I have a great honor tonight. See, I have the honor of introducing the next Vice President and Second Lady of the United States of America, J.D. and Usha Vance.
That's very interesting. Are they replaying this? Because he already gave a speech. So looks like they might just be replaying this, unless he's coming up to now introduce Trump. This is interesting. Wonder what the heck is going on at this point, because we know he already gave the speech. Let's listen.
Lovely. I'm gonna pay for that later. But without further ado, I want to introduce my friend, my running mate, the biggest fighter for this country and the working men and women of this country we've ever seen, and the next President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
All right, so the Lee Greenwood song is playing right now, and obviously I can't play that song, but you can see Donald Trump is making his way out to the stage. What's going on here? Yeah, he's introducing Trump. That was perfect timing for him to do so. Just see here, Torrance reading our prayers for spiritual warriors. Wow, you're getting information into us here. There was an actual attack on the train infrastructure in Paris. The high-speed trains are down. Interesting. I watched Hillbilly Elegy. It was brutal. Brutal as in awesomely good, or brutal like as you couldn't get through it? Let me know which way it was. One of JD's kids is named Vivek. Absolutely, because he and Vivek were good friends. And I'm proud to be an American. Yes, we are. Absolutely. Our family is singing it anyways. Yeah, I can't play it, but you can go ahead and sing it. Let's see what happens here. And you can always tell when he's ready to talk, because he waits till it plays, and then he steps up to the microphone. And, somebody asked me earlier, like, Barry, do you sleep? Because this is my third, basically, video of the day, 2 lives in 1 video. And I'm like, if this man at 78 years old can go all across the country and he can do 2 rallies, if he can recover from a gunshot to his head, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, that's the least I can do. I can fire things up and make sure I'm with him because, man, the guy's 78 years old. He's older than me, and he can do it. Yeah, we can do it as well. I can't imagine. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Band-Aid and bandage is no longer on his ear. So to me, that's also indicative of somebody in decent shape because he got shot 2 weeks ago, and now he's not even wearing a bandage. Pretty much awesome. Okay, he's walking out now. He's there, buddy. Don't sleep on it. He's here. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so here we go. There's still more music. All right.
I don't know. Tom, you better bring this home. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. Tom Emmer, great guy. We're going to bring this home. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank our next Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance. And I especially want to thank the great state of Minnesota. We love Minnesota. Before we begin, I want to condemn the evil attack on Israel that took place earlier today. A missile launched by Hezbollah killed at least 12 children, young children. And they were playing, as you heard, on a soccer field in Israeli territory on the Golan Heights, a place that I recognized during my administration as under Israel's sovereignty. It was a big thing. They've been trying to get it done for 72 years. I got it done in about 1 hour. The savage Hezbollah terrorists struck these children with an Iranian precision missile. Dozens more were wounded in the attack, and sadly, the death toll is probably going to go very substantially higher. Our hearts go out to the families of these innocent children. No parent should have to suffer the terrible loss of a child at the hands of terrorists or anybody else. Today's attack on Israel cannot be forgotten, and it will go down as another moment in history created by a weak and ineffective United States president and vice president. They wouldn't have done this if I were the president. They wouldn't have done it. And they didn't. With time, this situation will only get worse for our country with the kind of leadership that we have right now, which is no leadership. It's probably worse than no leadership. It's negative. It's negative leadership. It must galvanize Republicans, Democrats, independents, conservatives, progressives, libertarians, and everybody else to put strength, respect, and power back into the USA where it belongs. This attack, just like the attack on October 7th or the Ukraine-Russia war, think of it, nor would country-busting inflation, inflation is destroying our country. None of it would have happened. It would have never happened if we were president. It wouldn't have happened. It's a dangerous and terrible time for the world. And it's almost the entire fault of incompetent Biden-Harris administration. She who says that she wasn't the border czar. She wasn't the border czar for 3 years. She was the border czar. She let it be known, I am the border czar. Then she never went to the border. She's terrible. She's worse than he is, I'll tell you right now. I want to be nice. They all say, I think he's changed. I think he's changed since 2 weeks ago. Something affected him. No, I haven't changed. Maybe I've gotten worse, actually, because I get angry at the incompetence that I witness every single day, the way millions of people are pouring into our country. And that's the thing that must change, and it must change quickly. It's great to be back in this beautiful state with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. As you know, 6 days ago, we officially defeated the worst president in the history of the United States, crooked Joe Biden. Have you heard of him? Have you heard of him? He was badly beaten, and everybody went to him and said, Joe, you can't win, you can't win. He said, no, let me debate him. Let me debate him, please. That didn't work out too well either. That was the end. The debate was the end. You can't beat him, Joe. Now we just beat you, Joe. You're going to lose. You got to get out. We want to get out. You got to get out, Joe. There was nothing nice about what they were doing. It wasn't democracy, was it? It wasn't democracy. No,
not at all.
They were saying, we want you out of the race, Joe, and we want you out here. You're going to lose. These are quotes from some of the fake news. Look at all the fake news back there. Wow. That's a lot of fake news. Man, that's a lot of fake news, Mike. Joe, you're going to lose. We want to put somebody else in. And then I realized last night I was speaking to a great group of people, Christians, all Christians, and they've been horribly treated by this administration. Today I spoke to Bitcoin crypto. So I went from Christians to Bitcoin, and now I'm with you in Minnesota. We cover a lot of territory. Think of that. So Christians to Bitcoin to Minnesota. We cover a lot of territory. And I never mess it up by saying, let me tell you about Bitcoin. I don't do that, no. Remember Biden, of course, I don't want to talk too much about him, but when he was in Iowa, and he said, it's great to be in Idaho. No, you're in. If I ever did that once, it would be the end. They'd say that's the end. He's cognitively impaired. That would be the end. The fake news would go crazy. But I thought last night, as I was speaking to this incredible group of evangelicals and a lot of others of faith, it's, well, you like that, don't you, huh? Yeah. Wow. That means our country's coming a long way, because you put faith back, you put religion back into our country, it's going to be a much better place. I'll tell you that. But I thought last night, I said, you know, it's sort of unfair. You have a guy, he says he's great, he's president and all that stuff. They rigged the election, but we won't talk about that. And they say he's president. So he comes out, and he comes out raring to go, and he gets badly beaten. He's losing, and all of a sudden he's like a fighter. Ryan. He's losing. Then they took him out of the fight, and they put a new fighter. We have a new victim now, Kamala. We have a new victim. We have a brand new victim. And honestly, she's a radical left lunatic. And she is, when you find out about her, all I have to say is defund the police. That was her big thing. Let's defund the police. And as I often say, you know, politicians don't change. Whatever they say first, that's where they are. They don't change. Wouldn't you say that, Tom? Whatever they say, if they said 5 years ago, 8 years ago, defund the police, she said it like 2 years ago or 3 years ago. But so if that's what they say, that's ultimately where they want to go. But this was really a coup of, and by the Democrats, this was a coup of a man that had 14 million votes. He wanted to run. They wouldn't let him run. They treated him horribly. They said to him, we can do it the nice way, or we can do it the hard way. To Joe, he's president. This was a coup of the presidency. They threatened him with the 25th Amendment. They said, Joe, we're going to threaten you with a thing called the 25th Amendment. You're cognitively and physically a mess. And if you don't get out, we're going to take you out with the 25th Amendment. And he said, I'll go. And then the fake news said, oh, he was so brave. He was so brave. No, he was forced to leave. So now we have a new candidate to defeat the most incompetent, unpopular, and far-left vice president in American history, probably the most far-left person in American history. Less than 4 months from now, Minnesota is going to defeat Kamala Harris. And remember what I said a short time ago. A short time ago, she strongly fought for many, many bad things. But to me, I love the police. We're not defunding them. We're going to fund them. Fund them. We're going to overfund them. She's just thinking. She's defund the police, and I'm overfund the police. We're going to overfund. We're going to evict this radical and incompetent administration from the White House, and together we are going to make America great again. With your vote this election, inflation will stop, the illegal aliens will be turned back, the cartels will be in retreat, crime will fall, energy prices will plummet, incomes will soar, and a world in chaos will rapidly be transformed into a planet of peace. And very importantly, and you don't hear this anymore, the words you don't hear under the Trump administration, the American dream will come roaring back bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. The American dream will come back, right? But if a crazy liberal, and she's beyond liberal, look, she was a failure at every stop. She was a failed vice president. She was a horrible district attorney. She destroyed San Francisco. She was a liberal she was there before all the guys that you're currently reading about, right? If a crazy liberal like Kamala Harris gets in, the American dream is dead. I believe it's dead. I believe it's dead. Over the past 3.5 years, Border Czar Harris, which is what she called herself, even the New York Times today, they took an article out of the New York Times, Border Czar. Now, you know, they're deleting everything that says, these people back there are deleting everything. Yep. But we already have it. You know, 3 months ago, she was thought of so badly they were just killing her. And now that she's in this position, they're trying to make her into a, let's say, Margaret Thatcher. I don't think so. It's not going to happen. Margaret Thatcher didn't laugh like that, did she? Did she laugh? If she did, she wouldn't have been Margaret Thatcher. It's very simple, right? Border Czar Harris allowed almost 20 million illegal aliens to stampede into our country. If she gets another 4 years, it'll be 40 to 50 million more people in our country, and they'll be using Medicare and Social Security. They will be gone. They'll be wiped out. They'll be destroyed. There won't be a thing your government can do about it. She will kill Social Security and Medicare. As Vice President, Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking votes that created the worst inflation in half a century. I believe the worst inflation that we've ever had. You know, they don't use the real numbers. They don't use the numbers that are really, really bad. But they're bad enough to have the worst just about that anybody can ever even think of or remember, decimating working families. And if she wins, inflation will only get worse. It's going to get worse. Already energy and gasoline are going up. You see what's happening? More and more per gallon. We had it down to $1.87. We actually had it lower than that for a period of time. A Kamala Harris presidency means 4 more years of extremism, weakness, failure, chaos, and probably World War III. I really believe it. They have that's why this happened today in Israel. Shocking that it happened out of nowhere. A Trump victory will bring back leadership, competence, common sense, and strength to the Oval Office. That's what we had. We had no wars. We had no wars. Think of it. We had no wars. Remember when crooked Hillary Clinton used to say, he's going to get us into a war. Look at him. Look at his rhetoric. I said, no, my rhetoric's going to keep us out of wars. That's what happened. We had no wars. They didn't think about it. Putin would have never got in. Iran was broke. I told China, if you buy 1 barrel of oil from Iran, you're not doing any more business in the United States. And they didn't buy any. They didn't buy any. And we would have had to deal with Iran within 1 week after the election if the election didn't take that horrible turn. You know, we got millions more votes the second time than we did the first. The New York Times asked me, what happened the second time? I said, the second time we got like 10 million more votes, right? Oh, I never thought of that. The reporter said, oh, yeah, you're right, actually. Let's go to another question. But let's review Kamala's insanely liberal record. As a senator, she was ranked the #1 most radical left Democrat in the entire Senate. They say she made Bernie Sanders look like a moderate. He was unhappy with that today, did you see? He said, oh, no, I think I might have been more liberal than her. They were fighting over who's more liberal. If this country has a liberal president, this country is finished, okay, just so you know. And she's weak liberal. Just a few years ago, Kamala Harris co-sponsored Bernie Sanders' $32 trillion. You know what that means? That means file for bankruptcy as you're signing the legislation. Everything is gone. Your taxes will go up by 4 or 5 times, and it still won't be nearly enough. $32 trillion socialist takeover of the entire U.S. healthcare system. She endorsed outlawing private health insurance entirely. Many people have private health insurance. It's phenomenal. If they work hard and they make a little money, they want to have great health insurance. She wanted it outlawed. She supported giving free taxpayer-funded health care to all illegal aliens. Come on in. Come on in. Now, but just think of it. Everybody that comes into our country, including from prisons, mental institutions, insane asylums, you know, they go crazy when I mention Dr. Hannibal Lecter. You know who that was, right? They say, why does he keep mentioning Hannibal Lecter? Well, you see, he was a slightly troubled patient in an insane asylum, and he'd love to have you for dinner, you right there. He'd love to have you for dinner. But I mention him because we have people like that coming into our country. They're closing their insane asylums all over the world. They're sending their criminals into the United States. Venezuelan crime is down 72%. Because they're sending their criminals and their drug dealers and their prisoners to the United States. And next year, I think, instead of being here, which is a great place, I love this place, we'll go to Venezuela or someplace in South America where they've sent all their criminals to us, because we'll have a nice, safe event. We can go to Venezuela next year where the crime drops 72%, and we're going to have a nice, safe event, because in Minnesota, you will have lots of people that you don't have now, although many of them are here now. They're just sort of getting used to it. You'll have people from their jails and from their mental institutions in Minnesota. So we'll go to a nice, safe location. She co-sponsored the $100 trillion Green New Scam to abolish oil, coal, and natural gas. She pledged to ban fracking. No fracking. Oh, that's going to do well in Pennsylvania, isn't it? Remember Pennsylvania, I said it. She wants no fracking. She's on tape. The beautiful thing about modern technology is when you say something, you're screwed if it's bad. If you say it wrong, you're screwed. She said, I never said about fracking. Then we play about 90 tapes, you know. There will be no fracking. We will defund the police, she says. I have to be very careful when I say that, because if I say we will defund the police, imitating her, they'll put me on television tonight saying Donald Trump wants to defund the police. Right? Got to be very careful, Tom. Sarcasm doesn't work when you have a crooked press. You know, when I imitated him, because Biden, and I don't want to waste a lot of time, because it's over now, right? He's gone. I told you he would be. I told you he wasn't going to make it. I told you. In the debate, and they called for the debate. They wanted it early. I said, okay, I accepted every rule. Everyone said, why did you do that? I mean, you accepted CNN, you accepted fake Tapper, you accepted all of these things. Why did you do that? So I said, because it's the only way, because they thought I wouldn't do it. So I said yes, and they were shocked. But we had the debate, right? And he kept saying, like, they'd say Jake Tapper, fake Tapper. But I have to tell you, they were very fair. In my opinion, they were very fair. 95%. You can't ask for, I was shocked. They gained a whole level of respect. I really mean it. CNN, and both of them, they gained a level of respect, right? Don't you think so? I do. I told them that. I called them both up. But I never saw a debate like this. So, we're given a certain period of time, and I'm running. I got to talk very fast because there's so many things to say. My mind is rushing. Boom, and I hit it right on the butt. But they kept saying to him, "Sir, you have 92 seconds left." What? You have 92 seconds left. And I said, "I'll take it." They said, "No, you're not allowed to. You have 92 seconds. And he was like, "Oh." Next question. "So you have 38 seconds remaining." What? "Oh." So we got off to a good start. But from the time of the debate, that was the beginning of the end. The debate was not good, and then he tried to recoup by going and doing some interviews with really nice people that actually wanted to help him along. But they can't answer the question for him, so it wasn't a good situation. And now we have somebody that's, I believe, worse than him. I really do. Kamala called for slashing consumption of red meat to fight climate change.
Hey, good luck with that.
Now, you know what that means? Because in a couple of countries, they're actually getting rid of their cows and their cattle. They want to get rid of their cattle because they say it's environmentally unacceptable. So that'll be next. They're going to be coming to you, Tom. Please go to the legislature and get rid of all cows, all cattle. Horses will be next. And at some point, I guess they'll go after the human also, won't they? It's crazy. It's crazy. The humans are next. No, she's terrible. She's terrible. I mean, she's as bad as you get. She supported mandatory gun confiscation, ripping firearms away from law-abiding citizens, and she said that a 80% tax rate is a bold idea that should be discussed. It's very interesting to her. I think that's nice. How about 80%? Yeah, Kamala is also a total radical on abortion. Should we talk about abortion? Do you mind for a second, right? When you compare my position on abortion to that of Kamala Harris, my position is actually, it just polled, 8 points higher, and that's because she's a radical. She's an absolute radical on abortion. She wants abortion in the 8th and 9th month of pregnancy. Think of that. And right up until birth and even after birth. The governor of Virginia, the ex-governor, we have a great governor of Virginia right now, but the governor that preceded Glenn he was horrible. I call him Michael Jackson, remember? Remember his wife stopped him from doing a moonwalk? Oh, that was a good thing because nobody could moonwalk like Michael. He wanted the moonwalk to show. That would not have been good, but he blew it anyway. But he said, we put the baby aside. If the baby's born, we put the baby aside. And we discuss with the mother whether or not we terminate the baby's life. This is after. This is an abortion. This is called killing. This is called a word beyond abortion. This is called execution. Kamala supports taxpayer funds to pay for abortion for any reason. She even voted against legislation that would require medical providers to give care to babies born alive after an attempted abortion. They're the radical ones. You see, the Democrats really, and not all of them, because most of them agree with us, they're the radical ones, whereas our position is that abortion is now back to the states. They've wanted to have this. This has been going on for 52 years, the way everybody and all legal scholars, they always said this is the way it should be. Everybody wanted it back in the states. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, and legal scholars. Every legal scholar wanted it back in the states. And then about 14 years ago, people started talking about the number of weeks, the number of months, the number of this, that. They wanted it back in the states where people can decide, and that's what's happening. You look at Ohio, they decided. You look at Kansas, they decided. You look at a lot of different states, they decided. And sometimes it comes out the way certain people want it. Sometimes it didn't. Ohio came out with somewhat of a liberal interpretation, and so did Kansas, which was a little surprising, but it's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in exceptions for the life of the mother, rape, and incest, and I also believe that you have to follow your heart, but you also have to get elected. You have to remember that. We have to get elected. And I want to thank the 6 Supreme Court justices, Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, John Roberts, Brett Kavanaugh, Neil Gorsuch, and Amy Coney Barrett for the wisdom and courage they showed on this long-term, very contentious issue. But getting it back to the states puts the question where it belongs, with the vote of the people, and it's over time. And you'll see this over time. It's going to work out incredibly well, and just an issue that was tearing our country apart for years and years is coming to an end, and people are coming together. It's going to be the vote of the people, and it's a state vote. It's the way it was supposed to be. It should have never been in the federal government. So, thank you. I think it's so important to say. I think it's so important to talk about. This November, the American people are going to reject Kamala Harris's crazy liberal extremism on a massive landslide. We're going to have a landslide because it's going to be too big to rig. You know what too big to rig is? We're not going to let her turn the United States into communist San Francisco. You know, 15 years ago, San Francisco was perhaps the greatest city in the country. And now it's unlivable. It's unlivable. The crime is so bad. The drugs are so bad. She has ruined it. She was the original of the bad DAs. She was the original of the bad prosecutors. She blew them all away. There are a lot of people that say she destroyed San Francisco. She will destroy our country. She will destroy. And moderate, you know what? We can maybe live with moderate, but we have to bring our country back. We've gone down a long way. Remember this. Out of the 20 million people, and probably much more than that came in, so many, they have to be taken out. We're going to have the largest deportation effort in the history of our country. The criminals, we have to get them out immediately. Every voter in Minnesota needs to know that when the violent mobs of anarchists and looters and Marxists came to burn down Minneapolis 4 years ago, remember me? I couldn't get your governor to act. He's supposed to call in the National Guard or the Army, and he didn't do it. I couldn't get your governor. So I sent in the National Guard to save Minneapolis while Kamala Harris sided with the arsonist and rioter and raised money to bail out the criminals, bail them all out of jail. Remember? I kept waiting for his call. You remember the guy from CNN, the reporter, so-called? I won't use his name. I don't want to embarrass. Shaved head, nice-looking head, actually shaved. And he goes, "This is a friendly demonstration." And behind him, the entire city was burning. Remember, it was like a war zone. The entire city was burning down. And as he was speaking, somebody threw like a hand grenade at his feet and broke his knee. This is a friendly rally. No, you know what's a friendly rally? This is a friendly rally. By the way, I feel so bad. There are 25,000 people outside that cannot. If you people all go and vote, now, look.
Thank you, Drew.
There's no way we lose this. There's no way we should lose this state. The other day, Kamala had 972 people, we counted it. They said it was 2,000, and that's okay. But they said she had a massive crowd of 2,000 people. It wasn't, it was under 1,000. But this, they never talk about this. They don't. Take a look at that. That's great camera work. It must, I know it's not a news camera because they don't do that. Even the ones that are on our side, they don't show the crowd size. I love crowd size. We've always had the biggest crowds. In history, there's never been anything like this. So you had to see, we drove from the airport to here, and practically the whole way, there were just thousands and thousands of people. It's incredible.
Kamala can't touch this. Kamala, keep the TV away from Kamala while there's a Trump rally on. No way.
If they don't cheat, we win this state easily, okay? They cheat. They have no shame. They cheat. Do you understand that, you crooked people? They're the most
Ryan,
crooked.
thank you so much, Ryan.
They cheat. They cheated in the last election, and they're going to cheat in this election, but we're going to get them. They used COVID to cheat. And this time they'll try and find something, but we think we have them blocked. They have no shame whatsoever. You know, the amazing thing is the press, when they write about this rally tomorrow, they'll say, President Trump was here. He had a small smattering of people, a small, delicate crowd of a few people. Sometimes they'll say a few hundred people. They never talk about it, and they never show the crowd, no matter, look at the corner. See the corner of the room? Turn your camera right up in that corner. See that corner? See that corner?
Oh, they're doing it. Oh, my God.
See that corner up there? See that corner?
Oh, my goodness. Look at that crowd. Wow. Wow. Yeah, right, Kamala.
Look at him. Look at that guy. He's going crazy up there. He loves it.
Wow. What a crowd.
He's going crazy.
Wow.
He's got the worst seat in the House, and he's got more attention than anybody. Look at him.
Wow. That's pretty incredible. Incredible.
But those cameras will never turn, will they, huh? See, I'm watching the cameras. They're not turning because they don't want to turn, because they don't want to show what's happening. This is the greatest movement in the history of our country. And if we don't win this election, our country is finished.
Wow.
You know, I used to plead with the fake news, but now I learned it's not worth it. But I'd plead, show the crowd, show the crowd, please show the crowd. You know, I'd say, show the crowd. And they'd keep that camera blaring right on my face. They'd show it as tight as possible, as tight as you can. And I'd say, you gotta show the crowd, you gotta show it. And I actually thought in 2015 and 2016 when I started, because we had these crowds from the beginning, I have to say now they're bigger and better and stronger, I think, than ever before. Bigger and better. Look at that. That's, when I say the corner, you know the place is packed if those seats are gone. But I love that one guy up there. He's going crazy. We've made him a star. But I used to say, turn the camera, turn it, turn it. I went through, and I never understood, because it's actually good for them. It shows that people are watching something, so I figured it would be easy. Even the bad ones, they should do it. They should show the kind of crowd size, and they wouldn't do it. Even the friendly ones, I won't mention names, okay? But you know who I'm talking about. Friendly, they would never show the crowd. And then I realized what it must be. It's a metal object, and I figured they couldn't turn the camera because it's on steel tripods, and I figured it's very rigid. And then one night in late 2015, just prior to 2016, there was a terrible fight, like over there in the corner, where the only way a camera could get the fight would be to do a triple tripod loop, swirl underneath the people's legs. And that camera, I've never seen any piece of steel bend so much. It was like, they got every second of that fight. I said, you mean the cameras do turn very well? And they do. That was when I learned it's fake news, it's just fake news. But they won't show this crowd, they won't show them. But more impressive than this crowd is honestly the people outside. You have thousands and thousands of people. So we love them, we love them. We love them. We do. We love you. We love you all. How good is this place? What a state. I think I should move here. No, but we have a lot of states. They're all, look, they all see what's happening to our country. They're all incredible. We always have packed houses, to put it mildly, like this. I mean, the spirit has never, ever been like this. We did great in 2016. We did better in 2020. There's never been spirit like this, Tom. I don't think we've ever had, Pete, never had spirit like this. Great hockey player, by the way. Great hockey player. Pop. Great hockey player. We've never had spirit like this, so we have to do, we're going to turn it around fast. We'll turn this thing around real fast. You're going to be so happy. Kamala urged her followers to donate to the so-called Minnesota Freedom Fund, helping raise $35 million to set loose violent offenders after they shot at police, looted your store, sexually assaulted innocent victims, and committed all sorts of other heinous crimes. One of the criminals Kamala helped bail out of jail was Sean Michael Tillman, very famous now, unfortunately, a repeat offender who, with Harris's help, was set free. She set free many very bad people. And then he went on a murder rampage. He killed a man on a train platform in St. Paul, shooting him 6 times in the head. Okay? She just turned him free. Ultra-liberal Kamala Harris will deliver crime, chaos, mayhem, and death to our country. I will restore law and order, justice in America. With your vote, we will get the gang members, drug dealers, and dangerous criminals the hell out of our states. We'll get them off our streets. We'll put them behind bars. But what we're really going to do is send them back to the country from where they came. You know, a certain country in South America, and by the way, they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from the Congo in Africa, 22 prisoners. Where do you come from? Congo. The good thing about these people is they make our criminals look like really nice people. It's true. Our criminals are now considered fine, upstanding people by comparison to these people. I told Dana White, UFC, do we love Dana White? How good was he at the convention? I said, Dana, I have a great idea. Take your great championship fighters from all over the world, your champions right now, but start another league, called it an illegal migrant league. And then take the best of those fighters and let them fight. I believe the migrants will win. I think it's crazy. You know, I told that little sort of sarcastic joke. The press went crazy with it. He wants to start a migrant league. He wants to start a migrant league. I was going to tell you when I was up here 2 months ago, I imitated Biden because he can't find the stairs ever. The stairs, 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 stairs. 2 stairs. Get so many stairs. Get so many stairs. It's just like too many stairs. I don't know what the hell they need them for. But they spend a lot of money. Government often will spend. Government has many more stairs than private. We put up like 1 stair. They put up like 12. But you always have a lot of stairs, so I'm imitating him, and I'm being funny, and I think I'm being so funny. And I had a tremendous crowd. We had 42,000 people, and I'm saying to the people, you know, when Biden gets off, do you ever notice? First of all, he doesn't make long speeches like that. Second of all, even though he can't read a teleprompter, he never goes off the teleprompter. It's a mess. It's a mess. And I was telling the people, I said, you know, do you ever watch when he's finished with his 2-minute speech? It never lasts more than 2, maybe 3 minutes. 3 is like a long speech. He goes, and he'll point at a stair. And then he'll walk. He'll point right at the stair, and then he won't be able to find the stair. This is what we have negotiating nuclear weapons with Putin, with Kim Jong-un, with President Xi of China. No, this isn't going to work out. Bad things are going to happen. But I called my wife. I said, who else could do it? Who else could do it? And 50,000 people. How great was my speech? How did I look? How great was I? It's on speech. I said, First Lady, how great did I look? She said, there was something wrong with your hair tonight. It looked terrible. She said, you were okay, but, you know, I have 50,000 people. Elvis didn't have 50, and he had a guitar. I had no guitar. I didn't have the use, right? Elvis had a guitar. He had a lot. We love Elvis, right? But he had a guitar. I don't have a guitar. So we'd have like 50, 60, 70. You know, we had 107,000 people in New Jersey, on the Jersey Shore. Wildwood, New Jersey, it was beautiful. We had 25,000 people in the South Bronx. And it was like a love fest. It was like a love fest. 25,000 people. And I said to the First Lady, how great was I tonight? I didn't like your hair. I didn't like that. I said, who the hell else can get 52, 58, 79? We had 79,000 people in South Carolina. Who can get it, First Lady? And she didn't care about that. Then I called her finally. I called her how we, she said, you were great tonight. Oh, I said, that's great. Thank you very much. And I said, how else? I mean, was it really good? Yeah. But there was a problem. Why couldn't you find your way off the stage? They said you couldn't find. So these people, I was playing and having fun, imitating Joe Biden not being able to find the stairs. And they said that Trump couldn't find the stairs off the stage. So I have to be very careful. Tonight I'll have a very bad night because I haven't done that little routine in a long time because of that. You were good, but you know, it looked really bad at the end, darling. You couldn't find the stairs. What's wrong with you? Nah, I can find the stairs. I'll let you know when it's my time not to find the stairs. I'm going to know. And I'm going to call Tom Emmer. I'm going to say, Tom, it's about time for me to go. Okay, nobody's going to have to tell me. You know, I get up and I don't even read the teleprompters most of the time. So I'll do 80, 90% of the speech off teleprompter. And they'll say, he mispronounced a word. He mispronounced a word. They had a word the other day, crooked. I said cricket, you know. And rather than go back and, I don't like to go back because going back means you made a mistake. You just blast through it. He didn't know how to pronounce the word crooked. I've been saying it for years about these crooked politicians that we're dealing. So you can't even make a little bit of a flub. But even after the rioters did hundreds of millions of dollars worth of damage in Minnesota, Kamala Harris declared the so-called peaceful protests, quote, are not going to let up, and they should never let up. We should continue to go forward. In other words, those protests were good. She thought they were wonderful. This woman will be a disaster as our president. This woman shouldn't even be a shot. And you know what? They have many better people than her, but they never gave them the chance. Many better people. I know all of them. Some are very good. Kamala Harris was the original Marxist district attorney. She destroyed San Francisco, and she will destroy our country. She will be the worst president we've ever had. She will be worse than crooked Joe Biden. The only thing is she won't have Hunter, so that will help. Where's Hunter? Remember the sign we did? Where's Hunter? That became, remember that one? I said, where's Hunter? The next day, my people are doing shirts. Where's Hunter? That was the big one. This one was good. Did you see I played golf with Bryson DeChambeau? Did anybody see? Yeah. Played okay. Very good. Won a lot of club championships, and I'm playing with him. First of all, he's like 29 years old. He hits the ball a mile, but I hit it far also, and we played very good. And it was a break 50. Break 50, that means you have to get 13 birdies and 5 eagles. That's very tough. The par threes are actually make it the toughest, right, for those of you that are golfers. But I played with him. He said, I can't believe how good you are. No, I play good. So what happens, and I was, I helped him a lot, but he does hit the ball like about 380. It helps. It helps when you can hit it 380. He's the longest hitter on tour. He just won the U.S. Open. He's a handsome guy. He's a great guy. He loves the people, loves the country. But that became the #1 trending thing because Joe Biden, who I watched him, I was always a nice athlete, a really good athlete, but I don't want to brag. So what happens? Joe Biden challenged me to a round of golf. He challenged me.
Oh, he's killing it. Oh, my goodness.
And I can hit the crap out of the ball. I'm good. I shoot good scores.
Oh, my gosh.
And when you win a club championship, that means you can play under pressure. You can ask a lot of the people up there, like Brett Baer. Brett Baer's a good golfer. Ask him, can Trump play? Ask a lot of the people. But can you imagine? Now, the whole thing with these people is they're con people. Misinformation. I challenge him to a round. I'll give him 3 strokes aside. He's going to give me strokes. So I say, I will give you $1 million if you can break. He said he was a 6, right? During the debate. And then immediately he said he was an 8. I said, that was quick. We keep going like this, it'll be a 30 in about 2 minutes. I was a 6 handicap. I was an 8 handicap. I said, how the hell did that happen so fast, right? He's not a 6. He's not an 8, and he's not a 30. He cannot break 100. I know. I can look at somebody, and I could look at their swing. He can't break 100, but I offered him $1 million. Now, as a 6 handicap, you can easily break 100. I said, I'll take you to any course you want, from the blue tees, which are, just moderate tees. I would give you $1 million if you can break 100. He decided to turn me down. He turned me down. Then I said, I'll give you 10 strokes aside. I'll give you 10 on the front, 10 on the back. I'll give you 20 strokes. I'll give you $1 million if you can beat me. He has no chance, okay, no chance. He didn't. But they talk a good game. It's all talk. It's good. It's all, pilots come to the White House. I used to be a pilot. My uncle was eaten by cannibals, right? Even though the stories say, no, he went down in a crash. But my uncle, if the truck drivers come in, I used to drive a truck. It was a very big truck. These people, I'm telling you, they are so bad. They're so bad. They're just evil people.
One of their
but more
cameras
importantly,
must have
they're
went
destroying
down.
our nation. Nobody respects them. Everybody laughs at them. We're like a bunch of fools. We have a man that can't put 2 sentences together, and now we're replacing him with worse than he is, a dangerous person who's not smart. She couldn't pass a law exam, right? Have you heard that? These are minor details. She couldn't pass a bar exam. She took the bar exam. She couldn't pass it. She thought she'd never be able to pass it. This is what we have wanting to be up. Other than that, she's a very fine woman. I'd like to make that statement. No, she's a radical left lunatic, and she's going to destroy our country, and we're not going to let her do it because we're going to win this election in a landslide. Right? You look at Kamala supports ending cash bail nationwide. No bail. If you kill somebody, that's okay. Come back whenever you're ready. We'll give you a little trial. Put you in jail for about 2 days. Which means releasing violent criminals immediately after arrest right onto the streets. She wants to abolish jail sentences for parole violators. She endorsed defunding the police, and she sponsored a bill to strip police officers of legal protection. She wants the police officers to go out and protect themselves and defend themselves and hire lawyers. You got to go hire a lawyer. These lawyers would take what they make in 1 year, they'll take it out of their hides. You can't do that. We're going to give immunity to police so they can do their job. I'm giving federal immunity to police officers so they can do their job. I think it's good. She wants to leave our communities at the mercy of deranged criminals and violent mobs. Unlike Kamala Harris, under my leadership, we will never defund the police, and we will give our heroes the protection, resources, and respect that they so dearly reserve. We're not going to take away their pensions. We're not going to take away their homes. We're not going to destroy their lives and their families' lives. We are joined today by an incredible woman who I just met, took a picture backstage, Shannon Owen, the widow of Pope County Deputy Josh Owen last year. Very handsome. Josh was on his 44th birthday, right on his birthday. He was out for a steak dinner with Shannon and his 10-year-old son when he got a call there was a problem, a domestic disturbance. A short time later, Shannon got the news that her husband was shot and killed in the line of duty. Shannon, we grieve for your loss, and we know how great a man he was. The police officers told me, told everybody else how great a man he was, and we are immeasurably grateful for your sacrifice. I would love to ask Shannon to come up for a moment. Shannon, can you do that?
Thank you, everybody. Sorry you couldn't hear me that well earlier. I hope you can hear me now. I really appreciate you giving me a chance to talk about Josh. There's so many of them out there right now that need our help, though. We need to back the blue. And we need to say what Trump said and overfund the police. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Incredible. Beautiful family that has to go through that. When I'm president, we will always stand with the men and women of law enforcement and their families, and we will have the backs of our police officers 100% of the time, and they will stop crime. As we secure our communities, we will also secure our border. On my very first day back in the White House, I will terminate every single open border policy of the Biden-Harris administration. And we will seal the border, and we will stop the horrible invasion into our country. It's an invasion.
Yes, it is.
You know, I built hundreds of miles of border wall. If we didn't have that, but then when we left, we were going to add an extra 200 miles, actually much more than I said we were going to do, and close up certain sections that we had to, for legal reasons, keep open for a little while. And they didn't want to do it. I said, wow, they don't want to do it. Does that mean that they actually want? Nobody thought they really wanted open borders. They talked about open borders, but nobody thought that could be possible. But they wanted open borders. We couldn't believe it. No person in American politics has been more of an open borders zealot than borders are. Harris, this was an open border. She was talking about open borders for a long time before anybody was even listening. You have to see her tapes and her statements that she made a few years ago before this fell into her lap, I guess you could say. Very undemocratic. Kamala supported abolishing ICE, and these are incredible patriots. These are tough people that go into a pack of MS-13 gang members in Long Island, and you see the fists flying and everything flying. The MS-13, they killed two young girls, 16-year-old girls, walking to school, and they cut them up with a knife because they didn't want to use a gun because it's too fast. They cut them up, two beautiful young kids going to school. They cut them up. And MS-13 is probably the most violent of the gangs, although now we have some coming in that might make them look good. But what happened is ICE went in, saw them. These guys walked right into the middle, and they start swinging. 3 minutes goes up and they're bringing these guys from MS-13 out there unconscious, bringing them out like this and putting them into a paddy wagon. And we took them out and brought them back to their country, or we put them in jail in some case. No, the ICE agents are great patriots. The Border Patrol are great patriots. But she was really something. She compared ICE agents to members of the KKK. She voted in favor of deadly sanctuary cities where you protect the criminals at all costs. She supports decriminalizing illegal border crossings, and she supports mass amnesty for all illegal aliens, even if they happen to be criminals from another country.
He ain't lying.
Under border czar Harris, millions of migrants are pouring across our border. They are coming not just from South America. They're coming from Africa, Asia, the Middle East. They're coming from everywhere. And as I said before, they're coming from prisons and jails. There's a slight difference. Mental institutions, insane asylums, and terrorists at levels that we've never seen before. We have terrorists coming in at levels that we've never seen come in before. You know, the Border Patrol did a statement on terrorism and terrorists. They said in 2019, one of my 4 years, now I think they were wrong on this, but I'm going to tell you anyway, I love it. They said zero. They had zero. Is that right? I think, Paul? They had zero terrorists coming in the year 2019. Now, I think they were wrong because I don't know how that could be, but they had zero. Now they have thousands and thousands of the hardest, meanest terrorists coming in, and it's not going to end well, but we're going to go right to work and we're going to get them the hell out of here. And you know who knows who they are? The local police. Our local police, they know their middle name, they know everything about them. Meanwhile, our crime rate is going up while the crime statistics all over the world are plunging, because all over the world, unless they're run by very stupid people, they're taking their criminals and they're dumping them. We're like a dumping ground. They're dumping them into the United States. So Venezuela, crime is way down. The criminals are almost gone. The jails are half empty. The only difference, if I were running Venezuela, I would have had the jails 100% empty by now. I can't believe they're just going a little slower than we thought. Many countries right now, there's a certain country, I don't want to mention it because the head of the country, the president, South American country, but again, they're all over the world. He's getting great publicity that he's done a wonderful job on crime. He's done a wonderful, wonderful job. He's convinced everybody to live together. And I believed it. Like for 2 years, I'm reading about it. I go, oh, great story in the New York Times. Great, great, great. Wonderful. Then I realized he's taking his criminals. He's dumping them into our country. But he's doing it differently than some of the others. In Venezuela, they brag about it. He liked to say that he did something with a social experiment. A criminal is a criminal, and they generally stay a criminal, and we don't have time to figure it out. But we're not going to take criminals, and we're going to get rid of the criminals that we've been given by all these countries from all over the world. Under border czar Harris, our communities are being ravaged by migrant crime. Earlier this year, a 15-year-old girl in Massachusetts was raped by a migrant who Biden and Harris flew into the United States. How about that? We're stopping them at the border. We're fighting. The Border Patrol guys are stopping them like crazy at great danger. And then we find out they have airplane flights over the border with thousands and thousands of people landing into the middle of our country. They're flying them then in airplanes into our country. So they don't want to stop them. They never will stop them. Nobody understands what good can come of it. Nobody understands why they want to have open borders, because there's nothing good. The only thing they can do is they are trying to register people to vote. That's the only thing we can say. These are not stupid people. Anybody that can cheat on elections like they cheat on elections, these are not stupid people. But you say, why would they want to have open borders and have criminals and mental patients coming into our country? The only thing is, and I'm seeing it more and more, they're fighting like hell. They want to register these people to vote, and we have got to stop it. We can't let them do it. That's the only thing. There's no other reason that they could want this. In upstate New York 2 months ago, another 15-year-old girl was attacked by an illegal alien they let in, assaulted with a metal pipe, abducted, driven to an isolated area, raped and killed. And in Texas last month, 12-year-old Jocelyn Lungari was tied up, sexually assaulted, and strangled to death by 2 illegal aliens who Biden and Harris released into the United States. They didn't want him to go out. They fought like hell to keep him here. They killed this beautiful young girl. Kamala Harris's deadly destruction of America's borders is completely and totally disqualifying for her to be president. You can have a person like this as president. No person who deliberately releases these kinds of savage criminals to prey on our youth and our people, not just youth, elderly people too, are tremendous targets, should ever be trusted with power. Again, she has no clue. She has no clue. She's evil. The one job Kamala had was the border. That's the only job, and it was the biggest disaster in all of border history. And I'm not talking in this country, I'm talking all over the world. There's never been a border where people cross by the millions and millions. A third world country would stop it, even if their people had to use sticks and stones. They'll use sticks and stones. Nobody's going to allow that to happen, what's happened to our country. We're pleased to be joined today by the current leader of the National Border Patrol Council, a great guy, Paul Perez. And I'm just going to ask Paul to come up to the stage for 1 minute. Paul, please.
So like I said earlier, I worked under 3 Democrats, 2 Republicans. Everybody talked tough on the border. Only one president actually backed it up. That was Donald J. Trump. Joe Biden doesn't care about the border. Borders are Harris doesn't care about the border. Do you guys remember the interview when they asked her if she was going to go to the border, and she laughed about it and said, well, I haven't been to Europe. There's nothing funny about border security. Tell that to the families that have lost loved ones, to the victims of illegal alien crime. President Trump is the only one that has stood with them. I've seen it with my own eyes. He's done it. He's strong on the border. Borders are Harris needs to go.
Thank you very much. Great people. There are people are, it's so much easier for them to just say, let's do nothing like they were told to do, but they can't do it. They love the country. Brandon Judd, your friend, they love the country, and they want to solve the problem. And by the way, I have a couple of people here, actually many people, Front Row Joes. I want to thank you very much, Front Row Joes. These guys, they've come to over 200 rallies. They were at a rough one 2 weeks ago. I know I saw him sitting up front with a whole group of a lot of Front Row Joes, right? That was a nasty one. That was one. We lost a great person, Corey, firefighter, great man, and 2 people really badly hurt, but they're okay. They're getting better. And I saw the whole group. They had like 40 of them, Front Row Joes. And I don't know where they get the money. They must be rich as hell, but they follow us all over the place. And we love you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, the amazing thing about that night, and I don't talk about it. I told you during the convention, I said, I don't want to talk about it. But one thing that was so amazing, the people that were sitting behind us, we had thousands, tens of thousands of people, but they're mostly here. The people behind us, when this incident took place, nobody ran. And crowd control people will tell you when there's a shot fired, and people know a shot. It's much different sound than firecrackers and everything else. Much different. They know, especially the people that we're talking about from that section, they know a shot better than anybody. And a shot was heard, and then another, then another, then another. They saw I was in trouble. I went down, but I grabbed, I looked, I said, wow. But a shot was fired, and when you look at that tape, nobody ran. They saw I was in trouble. This is the most incredible movement. These are the most incredible people. They saw. They were right here. And it was a group similar to this, a little bit larger, twice the size. And those people, and there was one guy, I got to meet him. He was dressed in black. He had sort of a green floppy hat on. Not only didn't he run, and there were others that did this too, he stood up. Bullets are going, you just look at him. Did you see him? Does everyone, I mean, you've seen this clip hundreds of times. People call up, they see it hundreds. They just, but look at that guy. He's not afraid. And then he's pointing. There he is. And the Secret Service sniper with one bullet, he did a great job. It would be nice if it would have been earlier. One bullet from a much further distance. And let me tell you, the Secret Service is taking a lot of heat, but I was under fire, and I was down, and I was here, and they came rushing, and there were bullets coming at us because it was whizzing over my head. And I don't know how they didn't get hit, but they had 7 or 8 guys that absolutely, you talk about bravery, they jumped on top of me, they shielded my body. I mean, to a point that was amazing. And we have to remember that too. We have to remember, they understand they made some mistakes, but I'll tell you what, bravery was incredible because those bullets were flying, they were flying nasty. And it didn't stop them. You saw how fast they moved. They just moved and they jumped on me. I could show you an arm here. I said, these are strong people. But I'll tell you, they were very brave people. That was a very incredible thing. And fortunately, maybe it could have been a little bit earlier, but that sniper for Secret Service, he was a world-class shooter. And from probably 400 yards, that's 4 football fields, because he was over there, quite a bit away. And this guy was over here, 130 yards away. So you add it up and you double it or triple it. And one shot, boom. Because if that didn't happen, a lot of people would be gone right now. A lot of people. But there was great bravery displayed, and you have to hear that.
So brave.
Also, you have to hear that. There was no like, oh, let me get out of here. I want to resign immediately from Secret Service. No, there was incredible. Every one of them. There wasn't one that was slow. A woman who was on my right, she was shielding me, beautiful person. She was shielding me everything she could. And she got criticized by the fake news because she wasn't tall enough. Well, you know. She wasn't tall enough because I'm tall and she wasn't tall enough. And she was criticized. She was so brave. She was shielding me with everything. She wanted to take a bullet because the bullets were flying. Incredible. And every one of those guys. But the amazing thing is the people behind me, and you didn't see this because you don't see it, but we had a field as far as the eye could see, much more than what we have here. If you added everything up, it would probably be like that. But even more than that, we had a field as far as the eye could see. Nobody ran. And the crowd experts say when there's a shot fired, like at a soccer stadium, the whole place, they call it a stampede. They run for the gates. Nobody ran because they saw I was in trouble. Yeah. And it's an amazing thing. I'm telling you, this is a movement the likes of which nobody has ever seen. And I feel the same way about that. Yeah? Thank you. Those people are great. I just want them to know that. They're all sort of famous now, you know. But it's not, you don't see one person running off that platform. The women, a couple of them ducked, but they got up. They got up, everyone. There's not one person that ran, and some of these guys and some of the women, they stood up in the face of all that noise and all that scary stuff, and with all the blood that they were witnessing, they stood up and they were looking right, because they wanted to help Secret Service and they wanted to help the police.
Yeah,
they wanted to find out who that guy was. So I just thank that whole crowd, but those people behind me and the people in front were the exact same thing. You just didn't get to see them.
This was awesome.
If Baltazar Harris stays in charge, every week we will bring a never-ending stream of illegal alien rapists, bloodthirsty killers, and child predators to go after our sons and daughters. That's what's going to happen. Nothing good is going to happen out of this. If I'm elected, we will immediately deputize the local police and form a massive dragnet to scour the nation for the monsters who are murdering and raping our children, and we will ship them out of our country immediately. And those countries will take them back. You know, under President Obama, they wouldn't take them back. They said, no, sir, we can't do it. They won't take them back. They put planes on the runways. I said, what do you mean planes? They put planes on the runways, so when we fill a plane full of MS-13, we're going to land in Guatemala or Honduras or El Salvador or some country. We can't land the plane. They have planes sitting on the runway. This has gone on for years. So I said, I want them all out of here. They said, we can't for that reason. They have the roads all clogged. I said, how much money do we pay them? Because we pay everybody money because we're so stupid. So the three countries, we paid about $750 million a year for economic development. I haven't seen too much economic development. So I tell them, I said, tell them they're delinquent, they're in violation of everything, and we're not paying them anymore. And they did. They said, we're not paying you anymore. And the next day, I got 3 calls from the presidents of those 3 countries. I won't tell you exactly which ones, but you sort of have an idea. And they said, Mr. President, sir, is there a problem? Now, you have to understand, they've been telling Obama and Biden for years, we're not taking your people back, and we just kept paying them like stupid people, pay, pay, pay. I said, they're delinquent. I said, you're delinquent. But they said to me, sir, is there a problem? We seem to have a problem. This was early in the morning. I got 3 separate calls almost at the same time. Is there a problem, sir? Because they were notified there's no more money coming their way. I said, yeah, the problem is all the people, and they send them. They don't just come here. They send them. They put them in caravans, and they send them. And they put most of their bad ones in those caravans. They put the prisoners, they put the mental patients, they put a lot of bad ones. So I said, no, we're not sending you any more money. They said, sir, we would be so delighted to take back MS-13. We love them very much. They took back everybody. From that point on, we took out thousands and thousands of criminals, and we sent them back to their country. They said, we would be delighted to take them back, sir. And we took out thousands and thousands, and like Dwight Eisenhower, people think of Dwight Eisenhower as a moderate, but he wasn't a moderate when it came to the border. He was the toughest guy we had as a president. He hated when people would come across our border, and he would deport them immediately. Dwight Eisenhower, you don't think so? We have no choice, but we're going to have to do it, but we have a much bigger problem than he ever did, and the problem was caused by Kamala and Joe, Crooked Joe. I wonder if Joe got any money for doing that. Kamala wants to be the president for criminals and illegal aliens. I want to be the president for law-abiding Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed. Harris is so extreme and unhinged that she has even declared the terms illegal alien and radical Islamic terrorism to be forbidden and unacceptable. You're not allowed to use those terms, but that's what it is. Some of it. If she's elected, she will flood our country with refugees from Hamas-controlled terrorist epicenter in Gaza, the Gaza Strip. She wants to deposit thousands of jihadist sympathizers in Minnesota. You know that. You already have enough. I mean, how the hell do you have these Congress people elected? Ilhan Omar. Now, she went to a speech when I was running. When I was first running, and I you know, in all fairness, I never did this stuff before I'm running. And this lunatic was in the audience. She started screaming. I said, who the hell is that? And it's the same crazy person that I watch every night. She's nuts. And she gets reelected by not a lot, but she gets reelected. How do you have people like that? I'm telling you, I was making a speech, and we had a lot of people, and she was like there someplace, and she got up and started screaming. I said, that woman is insane. She's crazy. And you know what? She's become like a major voice in Congress. Can you believe it? She's a sick woman, and she's destroying your state. She's hurting our country, and we shouldn't be electing people like that. They want to turn the Middle East. Remember this. They want to take a look at the Midwest. They want the Midwest to be just like the Middle East. That's what their plan is. Let's turn the Midwest into the Middle East. I think that's not going to work out. But we do not need a jihad in the United States of America, and we're not going to allow it. We're going to do something about it. We're going to be strong. We're going to be brave. We're going to be smart. We're going to listen to Tom Emmer, and Pete and all of the other, you got great people in this group, I tell you. You have great people. And we do not need more people who want to burn our flag. I watched yesterday and the day before, they're burning our American flag. And I said, I know they say it's unconstitutional. Well, make it not unconstitutional. You burn our American flag, you should get immediately mandatory 1 year in jail.
I'm definitely down with that.
Go for it. To do it. On day one of the Trump presidency, I will restore the travel ban, suspend refugee admission, stop the resettlement, and keep the terrorists the hell out of our country. We're not going to have terrorists in our country. It's no wonder the Democrat Party and their thugs are so desperate to stop us. They know that we are the only ones who can stop them, us. All of their persecution is only happening because I am running for president and leading big in the polls, including in the great state of Minnesota. I saw a poll today where I'm up to. Doesn't mean much, but it means something, right? 1972, Richard Nixon was elected. Can you believe that? I think there's some hanky-panky going on because I've had a lot of rallies here. We have rallies. What I've done for your upcountry with the iron ore. And those people, they loved us, and then these guys came back and they changed everything, and just disgraceful what they did. But I think, I'm telling you, if we have an honest election, we're going to blow it out in Minnesota. We'll blow it out. Just look at the crowds. Look at the people back there. The radical left Democrats rigged the presidential election in 2020, and we're not going to allow them to rig the presidential election in 2024. We're not going to allow it to happen. And every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it a great badge of honor because I'm being indicted for you. Never forget, our enemies want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. I'm not going to let it happen. I say this, I got indicted more than Al Capone. You know, he was the meanest, most vicious guy. Scarface. Many movies made about Alphonse. He's a fine gentleman. If he didn't like you at a dinner, you were automatically dead before you got home to your lovely wife and family. What happened to Dad? Well, he had dinner with Al Capone, never made it back. He was in the foundation of a building down the road. I got indicted more than him for what? Saying the election was crooked. The election was crooked. What a disgrace. You know what? And it works both ways. I mean, they're setting a terrible precedent. This has never happened before. Never, ever. It's never happened before. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. And in the end, they're not after me, they're after you. I just happen to be standing in their way. That's true. So just in closing, I have to say, because we're really joined by great people, we're pleased to be joined tonight by many fantastic Minnesota patriots, including House Majority Whip, and I can tell you he's a tough guy and a strong guy, and we've become, I really believe, really good friends, and he's working the state. He's going to give me the biggest surprise on November 5th. Tom Emmer, great guy. And Mrs. Emmer, more important. Thank you both. Thank you both. Great couple. And members of Congress, he's a great hockey player. We're in a big hockey arena, but he's a great one, one of the best. Pete Stauber. Pete, thank you very much. Brad Finstadt. Brad, thank you. Great. Good job. Michelle Fischbach. Thank you, Michelle. Great job. You have great people here. Minnesota House Republican leader Lisa Damon. Lisa, wherever you are. Thank you, Lisa. And Minnesota Senate Republican leader Mark Johnson. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Great job. We have great people. We have great people on this state. These are great leaders. They're patriots. from the moment we take back the White House from Kamala Harris and crooked Joe Biden. I believe we're going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. We're going to do it fast. We're going to turn it around fast. We're going to get it started fast. Starting on day 1, we will end inflation and make America affordable again. It's not affordable now. People are dying. They can't afford bacon. They can't afford anything. To bring down the prices of all goods, we will stop the Biden-Harris war on American energy, and we will drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill. Right? We're going to bring that sucker down. I will terminate the Green New Scam, the greatest scam in the history of our country. Trillions of dollars being thrown out the window. And I will end the Biden-Harris electric vehicle mandate on day 1. And I love electric cars. Elon Musk endorsed me. Elon is a great guy, endorsed me, but he understands this is right. There's a great place for electric cars, but not 100%. Some people like to drive long distances. There's an expense problem. There's a made in China problem. But I'm a big fan, but it's a different kind of a market. They want every car to be electric. You know, they built in the Midwest 8 charging stations. Think of it. It's like a gas pump with electricity. They spent $9 billion building 8 charging stations. Now they have another 24,000 charging stations to go. So based on that, it's like $10 trillion. The whole thing is crazy. We will pass massive tax cuts for workers, and that includes no tax on tips. No tax on tips. And that'll be done immediately. Immediately. To protect Minnesota workers, I revoked China's most favored nation trade status. Think of it. China has a clause in all its agreements. We are a developing nation. We will be giving much more favorable terms than the stupid United States, which is represented by stupid people. That will be revoked. I had it revoked, and then they gave it back. I mean, you got to ask, how much money did Biden get from China? Could I ask you that? It's a lot, right? Millions of dollars, right? From Russia, they got $3.5 million. I know that. Remember I asked? Why did the mayor of Moscow's wife give them $3.5 million? And Chris Wallace, who's not the father, believe me, this is not Mike Wallace, this is Chris Wallace. There's a difference of about 300%. But Chris Wallace said, you can't ask a question like that. 6 months later, it turned out to be a big question. No, he got $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife. And I will pass the Trump Reciprocal Trade Act. That means that if China or any other country makes us pay a tariff or tax of 100 or 200 or 300%, we will make them pay a reciprocal tariff of 100, 200, or 300%. You heard us and we heard you. It's an eye for an eye. It's about time. And just as I did before, I will also rescue the Minnesota Iron Range. I rescued it. It was so beautiful. I'll never forget when I did that. I came up, and there were guys that worked there that had lost their jobs for years. These crazy people, they closed it down for no reason. It's the best material, the best iron ore there is in the world. You know that. The best in the world. And it's unlimited. It's not like, oh, gee, unlimited. And I met 4 guys that were so tough. They never cried, maybe when they were babies, you know, like at 1 or 2. But after 2, all 4 of them were crying. They were standing there bawling like a baby because I rescued their jobs. I gave them something that should have never been taken away. And they were doing great. And then Biden comes in. He has no idea what he's doing. And in his first week, he closed it. His first week. What a shame. But we're going to have it open. Tell those 4 guys, if you happen to meet them, no reason to cry. We're going to get it open again, all right? This is the first time they've cried maybe ever in their whole lives. They were rough-looking suckers, let me tell you. 4 years ago, I saved the Iron Range from the radical left, but the Biden-Harris administration shut the Iron Range down. You know, they did it immediately, imposing a brutal 20-year mining ban on 250,000 acres. But I will end that mining ban. We'll do it together, Tom. We will end that ban in about, what do you think, about 10 minutes? I would say 10 to 15 minutes. Right, Pete? And tonight I pledge to Minnesota miners that when I'm reelected, I will reverse the Biden-Harris attack on your way of life, and we will turn the Iron Range into a mineral powerhouse like never before. That's what it is. It's a minerals powerhouse. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office shortly after we win the presidency, and I say we win, we're winning this together, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled, and I will do something that nobody else will be able to do because we're closer than ever. You see that today? I will prevent World War III. I will prevent it. I will restore peace through strength. That's what we had. We didn't have to fight. You know, I knocked out 100% of the ISIS caliphate. Did it in 1 month. It was supposed to take 5 years. We have the greatest military in the world, and they're not woke. Some of the stiffs on top are woke, but nobody cares about them. In my next term, we will build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over our country, a dome like has never been ever seen before, and it will be entirely made in Minnesota and in the USA. It's going to be fully made in the USA, and Minnesota's got a big piece of it. You know, Israel's got it, and today they had a problem where something happened, but they knocked down, 6 months ago, 300 missiles were knocked down. If they weren't knocked down, it would have been devastation. But they, out of 300, one got through a little bit, it limped through and fell down harmlessly to the ground. But it essentially knocked out all 300. We're going to have something that's even superior. And why shouldn't we have? It's our technology. Why shouldn't we have protection so that we can protect this state and this country? Why shouldn't we? We do it for everybody else. We don't do it for ourselves. America first. I will not cut 1 penny from Social Security or Medicare, and I will not raise the retirement age by 1 day, not by 1 day. And for 4 years, I didn't. For 4 years, you saw that, I didn't. By contrast, Kamala Harris cast a tie-breaking vote to cut Medicare by $237 billion. You didn't know that? A betrayal of American seniors. She betrayed American seniors. She's the one that cast the final vote. We're going to rebuild our cities into beacons of hope and safety and beauty better than they have ever been before. We'll have to work with Democrat governors and mayors in some cases, but we'll work with them. We got to bring back our cities. Our cities are a travesty. We will take over the horribly run capital of our nation in Washington, D.C., and clean it up, renovate it, rebuild it, make it the most beautiful capital of the world, and get rid of the nightmare of murder and crime. It will be a safe city again. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding. We are going to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto the shoulders of our children. And I will not give 1 penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or a mask mandate. And I will keep men out of women's sports.
Yes.
And I will fully uphold our Second Amendment, which, as you know, is under siege. As you know, I got the full and total support of the NRA. They totally endorsed me and support me, but it is under siege, our Second Amendment. And nothing happened with us. We kept it, and we will keep it. You need it. You have to have it for protection and many other reasons. We will protect innocent life, and we will restore free speech, and I will secure our elections. Our goal will be 1 day voting with paper ballots, proof of citizenship, and voter ID. Very simple. But until then, Republicans must win. We got to win, win, win. We want a landslide that's going to be so successful. It's very hard. We got to win by a lot. We're going to do the too big to rig. Don't laugh. That's a nice little statement, but it means a lot. If you want to save America, get your friends, get your family, get everyone you know to vote early. Vote absentee, vote on election day. I don't care when you vote, but you gotta vote. You gotta go out and vote. And if you want to help us ensure election integrity, sign up at protectthevote.com. Protectthevote.com. So in conclusion, from Rochester to Duluth, from Marshall to Minneapolis, from St. Paul to right here in St. Cloud, this state was pioneered by men and women who braved the wilderness and the frontier to build a life for themselves and for their beautiful families. They were farmers and miners, manufacturers and shipbuilders, soldiers and lumberjacks. And they helped build this country into the single greatest nation in the history of the world. But now we are a nation in decline. We are a nation in decline. Can you believe we have to say that? We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has no respect around the world. They laugh at us. We are a nation that has lost its confidence, willpower, and strength. We are a nation that has quite simply lost its way. But we are not going to allow this horror to continue. Less than 4 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. With our leadership, every disaster Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have created can be fixed, and it can be fixed very quickly. You will be amazed at how quickly it will be fixed. This country will be put back together very soon. Every problem can be solved, and every wrong can be rectified. By this time next year, America's borders will be strong, sealed, and secure. Inflation will be in full retreat. Our economy will be roaring back. Optimism will be surging. The American dream will be thriving again for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. Law and justice will reign all throughout our land. You'll be safe again. You'll be free again. Freedom will be restored. The flame of liberty will be burning bright. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the worst administration in the history of our country, will be a fading memory of the past. They will be a fading memory. And our great silent majority, including the once forgotten men and women of our country, will be the ones shaping America's magnificent future when I am the 47th President of the United States of America. Because we are all Americans, and together we will show November 5th to be the most important day in the history of America. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again, strong. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America free again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so Trump spoke for, I'd say, right about 90 minutes. Yes, I love the speech. I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't have a picture I can show you. He rescheduled the rally that was broken up by the attempted assassination up in Butler, Pennsylvania. He's going back. He's going back to that rally. Let me see if I do have that information that I could put up for you, because it's incredible that he's doing that. I mean, talk about guts, absolute guts. Is this the one? Let me see if I can see it here. Let me see. Okay, so this is the first thing he went out and put against the, told the Secret Service he was not backing down. that he was indeed going to continue to do the outdoor rallies. As as you may know, they wanted him to stop. They didn't want him to do any more outdoor rallies. And he pretty much said, stuff it. Get to work, understand what you guys are supposed to be doing, and get the job done. And then, a little while after that, he goes, I will be going back to Butler, Pennsylvania for a big and beautiful rally honoring the soul of our beloved firefighting hero, Corey, and those brave patriots injured 2 weeks ago. What a day it will be. Fight, fight, fight. Stay tuned for details. I'm going to venture that will be the biggest, most secure, most Rambo security rally in political history. When he goes back to the site of the crime, when he goes back there to Butler, Pennsylvania, you can bet it's going to be a fortress, number one. I mean, I don't know if Dan Bongino or Eric Prince or whoever, it will be an absolute fortress in terms of security. But they may have to shut the town down. I mean, I cannot imagine how many people will basically be going to Butler, Pennsylvania for that rescheduled rally. Just to show it to you again, there it is. I'll be going back to Butler, Pennsylvania for a big and beautiful rally honoring the soul of our beloved firefighting hero Corey and those brave patriots injured 2 weeks ago. What a day it will be. Fight, fight, fight. Stay tuned for details. Amazing. Simply amazing. I'm going to call it right now. It will be the biggest rally in history. Second thing I want to just, in closing here, I saw a number of people talking and complaining about the YouTube ads. I don't own YouTube. I don't own Google. It's bad enough that things have been messed with. The ads are what they are. There's no charge. There's no fee for being here. Oh, wait, man, there is one fee.
Come on, show some love and click that like button.
Click the like button. And so somebody else had asked me, hey, Barry, why don't you wear a red hat? I'm like, okay, so I got one here and you saw the other one. The reason why I don't wear them, because I got a big dome. I got a big head. I'll call it. I'll admit it. I got a big dome. And none of these little red hats sit on my head. They just sit there like ornaments. That's why I don't wear my red hats. I just wanted to show you guys that I have them. And no, my wife didn't make this hat. This hat actually came from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Remember, if you guys weren't subscribers then, I gave a trip away to people to come down to the West Palm Beach rally. I flew a couple down from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, down to Fort Lauderdale. We had dinner. I put them up in a hotel. It was fantastic. And those fine people brought me this hat. It was amazing. We had a great dinner. They got to hang out, go to the beach and everything else. So that's where the hat came from. My wife didn't make it. It came from these wonderful people from Myrtle Beach. So I'm thinking, it's about time. It's been probably close to a little over a month since I did a giveaway. So I'm going to look for a date on the calendar when one of the rallies might be close or something. And then we're going to give a flyaway again. Maybe it won't be till later in summer. I know he's going to be coming down to Miami. But we're going to do a flyaway. We're going to do it all over again. Just so you know, when we did it, we picked somebody from random who signed up through my text number. We paid for the airfare. We paid for the hotel. We paid for the dinner. All you had to do is show up. And we had a great time. It's my way of giving back. If you notice, a lot of people donate these super chats to me and stuff. I like to give back. I've given out t-shirts and hats and gift certificates, and we're going to start ramping that up again with the next rally, which is on Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday the 31st. Yes, Wednesday the 31st. I need you to tune in. We're going to do a bunch of giveaways throughout the evening. Something's going to pop on the screen. It's going to say do this, call, or X, Y, or Z. And when you do that, you're going to enter and have a chance to win something. So we're going to be doing that at every rally from here on out. We're going to be giving away money, gift certificates, and a serious trip. A nice big trip. So get ready for that. Get ready. God bless Trump. Butler PA is full on Trump country. Aren't taking puberty and testosterone blockers, doping in sports. Yeah, I guess they don't call it that when you basically are doing Transformer stuff, but yeah. Back to Butler. Wow, it will be an awesome. I mean, I can't imagine that event's going to be just absolutely off the hook, as they say. So, hey guys, I hope you guys had a good time. Do me a favor and check out my other videos today. I did an earlier live video that's really starting to take off. It was about how Elon Musk ended Kamala Harris's political career, which I firmly believe. I noticed how Trump mentioned Elon tonight, so go ahead and check that out. And then, I forget, earlier this afternoon at 1 o'clock, I dropped another video. So, want you guys to have a great rest of your Saturday night. It's 10:15. I'm going to go have some dinner and then see if I can't put up a video tomorrow. Thank you very, 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 very much for tuning in. If you're new here, this is what we do. And don't forget, if you just only tune in for the rallies, make sure you're here Wednesday for the rally. The rally Wednesday, I believe, starts at 5:30. And that's going to be in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. That's where it's going to be, Harrisburg. Hopefully, you guys can all won't be. I don't know if it's indoor or outdoors, but we're going to have a great time. I'm going to give away probably a bunch of gift certificates for meals at different restaurants, and also a couple different prizes. So you guys have a great evening. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been